All right. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Cop Cop Podcast Wednesday Hot Topic Show, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Wednesday night. As you guys can see, we have a full panel of beautiful ladies, and we're going to be having some fellas jumping on tonight. And we have another great topic to discuss. As always, for you guys tune into my live shows, thank you so much for always tuning in. If you guys love the content, the best way to support the channel is to smash that like and subscribe button real quick. Don't forget, a lot of you guys always ask me, how do I join the show? If you're not from Cali, you're not from the Bay, but you do want to jump on the podcast, the best way to jump on is to join my shows on Wednesdays and Thursdays where it's virtual. The link is in the description below on YouTube. Come over to YouTube. You'll be able to see the link. Click on that link and jump on and be part of the panel. So if you're watching this on Facebook, Twitch, X, definitely come over to YouTube and you'll be able to access the link on the description below. And if you have any questions or topics, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to respond to you guys. And if you just want to donate to the channel, thank you so much for all the donations. Every single donation goes back to the podcast. But we have another great show. Excited. We have a great panel tonight. And we have another great topic that's often I saw that was discussing online. So I would love to have a conversation about with the ladies here about tonight's topic. But I'll pass it to the ladies. If you guys don't mind, if you want to give yourselves a quick introduction. We got some new faces. We got some people returning back from the previous pod, so thank you for coming back again. I'll start with the newest ladies on the panel joining the show for the first time. If you don't mind, give yourself a quick intro. And I'll start with you, Camilla. Just your name, where you're tuning in from, what do you do, and what is your relationship status? Go ahead, Camilla, give yourself a quick intro.
Hi, my name's Camila. My channel is Boozy Content, and I'm from California. I am a scientist. I have a biology degree, and I'm currently single.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much. Excited to have you on, Camilla. Hey, what's up, Jerk? Good to have you, Jerk. Thank you for jumping on and being part of the panel. But we'll keep it moving. I'll pass it to you, Lovable Curves. First time on the show. Thank you so much for making the time, but go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Hi, my name is Lisa, but the internet knows me as Lovable Curves. I'm an influencer, but I am also an advocate for legal justice, and I work as a paralegal at a law firm. I am twice divorced, mother of two, and I'm currently dating and enjoying it very.
All right, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much, Lovable Curves. Thank you for jumping on for the first time on the pod. I'll pass it to you, Candace. Candace, great to have you on the pod for the first time. Go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Yes, hey, I'm Candace from Chicago, originally from the south side of Chicago, and now I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago. I'm a licensed school social worker, so I work with students with disabilities. I am divorced, mom of four, and I am back on the dating scene now after 4 years.
All right, no worries, Candace. Excited to have you on. Thank you for jumping on, being part of the show. We'll keep it moving. Pass it to you, Sanjana. First time on the show. Excited to have you on. I know you got that fire ready, so I'm excited to see you, what you have to say tonight. But go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
I'm an avid debate student, so I love to get into it. My name is Sanjana Verma. I'm from Vancouver, BC, in Canada, and I'm currently still studying in university. I'm studying psychology, and on the side, I'm in acting school. That's what I'm doing.
All right, no worries.
Oh, and I'm single. I'm single. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much, Sanjana. Thank you, ladies, here for the first time. I'll pass it to the next ladies. They've been up on the podcast before, so excited to thank you for coming back again on the pod. I'll start with you, Amber. Go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Hi, I'm Amber. I currently live in Tampa, Florida. I work at a finance firm for nonprofits, but I'm currently starting school to get into the tech industry, and I am single.
All right. Thank you so much, Amber. Good to have you back. Good to see you again. I'll pass it to you, Jane. Jane, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro. Great to see you again and be back on the panel.
Thanks for having me. I'm Jane. Nice to meet all of you. I'm in New Jersey. I own a software company, and I am dating, and I'm doing a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Jane. Appreciate you. And last but not least, Anna, great to have you back on the pod again. Go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Hello. Thank you for having me again. My name is Anna. I'm from New York City. I work in the food and hospitality industry, and I am single.
All right, Anna, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for the great intros. I'll pass it to the fellas. Thank you for jumping on. Always good to have the fellas jump on tonight. Jerk, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everyone out there real quick.
All right, I'm the sophisticated jerk, just fresh out of jail. Will, thank you for giving me that second chance of life. Let me rebrand myself. No, I'm just joking. I'm the sophisticated jerk, procurement executive, married 20 years, and I live in the DMV area, but originally from Brooklyn.
All right, as I was saying, you have to change your name to Jailhouse Jerk. Thank you so much, Jerk.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm here to cook Sanja. So, did I say it right? The one that says she likes the debate? Sanjana, my bad. But yeah, I came here to cook her also. So
okay. Thank you so much, Jerk. I appreciate you. And Dame, always good to see my man Dame. Go ahead, Dame. Give yourself a quick intro.
Yeah, I'm Damien, longtime panelist for my man Will. I am 49. I'm run a sales team, the sales software, and invest in real estate. And been married for 17 years, I want to say. Been my wife almost 20, and 3 kids. Jesus Christ, we must have another kid. 3 kids. So yeah, that's what's up.
All right, good to have you. Thank you for jumping on again, Dame. But shout out to the panel. Thank you so much, ladies, fellows. Thank you for jumping on tonight for tonight's topic. So this was a topic I saw that was they had a whole thread on it on Twitter about are women still willing to build with their men? So let me just play a clip real quick. I saw on TikTok there was this lady. She was talking about this topic, and I'll come back to you guys. We'll go individually. Let me know what you guys think, and then we can open up for open discussion. So, but let's get the live chat popping. Lord Punisher, Stan, good to see you. Live, love, plan, pray. Good to see you. Damon Owens, good to see you. Stan, good to see you. But let's get that live chat popping. I know we have a full panel, so if you do have some space, I could definitely try to add you guys. But we have a full panel for tonight. But let me know what you guys think on the live chat. But this is the clip I'm gonna play real quick. We can react to it, and then I'll pass it back to the panel to get everybody's thoughts about it.
Or not you should help build with a man, or you should just move on and go find someone who's already at the place that they always dreamt of being. The next time you're having a conversation with a man and he's telling you what he dreams of being, what he inspires to be, think of it like this. Think of him as a developer of homes, and think of yourself as a client. He's coming to you and he's saying, I'm going to be this big shot developer and I'm going to build homes for you. That's fine. It is your job to now look at whether or not this man has the skills and the necessary components to become this developer that he swears he wants to be. Does he have a contractor? Does he have good architects? Does he have the cement laid out? Does he have good land? Does he have good foundation? And if the answer to all of that is yes, then fine. You can stick around and help him become the man that he wants to be, because there's a lot of nuance in this conversation. You don't always want to walk away. But if he has dreams of being a developer and he doesn't even have good foundation, goodbye. It's not attainable.
Okay, so that was the clip. So that was a clip I saw that somebody posted on X, and he started a whole debate between the men and women. So I'm just going to give you guys what I saw online. So what a lot of the men were saying that their biggest complaint about the modern dating scene is today they say that modern women, most women today, are no longer willing to build with a man, especially a man that's in the struggle, working towards his purpose and goals. That women today just want the top 20% men. They just want a man that's already successful, established. So they're not willing to give the normal everyday Joe that's trying to work toward the goals to give him a chance. And then what the women were saying, based on what I saw in that comment section, that the men are complaining that just men are just broke and lazy. So that was what I saw between the men and women debating on that video in the comment section. This is an interesting topic to hear what you guys think about do women still willing to build with a man. So I saw with the newest ladies. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. What's your reaction to the clip? What's your response what's your answer to the topic? Do you guys believe are men women today still willing to build with a man? And also, what is your personal answer to the question as well? Are you willing to build with a man, or you just, you know what, at this point of your life, you just want a man that's already established, got his life together, and has a goal, has a career, and has a purpose? So we'd love to hear why you guys have to stay. So let me start with you, Lovable Curves. What's your reaction to that clip? And what's your response? Do you believe, in general, do you think the most women, are they still willing to build with a man?
I can't speak for most women, but I'm very entrepreneurial myself. And with what she said, it's subjective. What she said was subjective. It's not that black and white. It's, hey, it depends on the man. And it depends on, does he have that foundation? I love the metaphor that she used because it's very simplified for anyone to see. And I had said this, I think, prior to you, that, your brain is fully developed at age 25. And by then, depending on the man and his age bracket, he should have a vision or goals or things that he plans and wants to do in his life. And if you're meeting him age 35, 40, 50 and up, and he hasn't executed that and he's all talk and he doesn't have anything to show for it yet, I wouldn't want to step in the ring and build with someone at that age. But if I was younger and starting out in my 20s, yeah, I would say, great. How can we make this happen? How can we work together? I'm very entrepreneurial. But I'd be like, what skills do I have as well? Are they complementary? I didn't have my degree or any of the skills I have now when I was in my early 20s. But I didn't expect dating someone at that age bracket to be either. Now where I'm at, I have my own house. I have my degrees. I have my career. I have my estate planning. And I'm going to at least need someone who's on my level. But it's because men earn, for every dollar men earn, women earn like 84 cents. So because they earn more and they have more opportunity, and women tend to be in their childbearing ages from 20s to mid 30s, that is being delayed a little bit. I'd expect that man to be above me actually on foundation at my age dating bracket. And I'm having fun dating. I'm meeting a lot of great guys, and even divorced or not, most of them are even above me. But I do want to continue building with them. But if I meet a man in my age and dating bracket and they are not even at my level with that foundation, or they don't have any of those moving parts, no, definitely not, because I don't take his word for it. He's not going to change all of a sudden in the middle of his life, and then my opinion. So it's subjective for me.
Okay, no worries. But just to clarify, Lovable Curves, at this point of your life, do you prefer a man that's already established, got his own house, got his career, got his life together? Or
yeah.
Compared to the guy that's still trying to figure things out?
Yep.
Okay, so you want the established guy. Okay. All right, no worries. Thank you so much. I'll pass it to you, Candace. Candace, what's your reaction to the video? But what do you think? Do you think are most women today, are they still willing to build with a man? Go ahead, Candace.
So the short answer is I'm not. But I have to piggyback off Lovable Curves because there has to be some foundation there first, which is why I say I wouldn't want to build with a man, because I'm just simply saying I don't want to build with a man who's starting from the bottom. So he needs to have an established career, a home, all the things you mentioned first. But if those foundational things are in place, then I don't have a problem building with the man, like for entrepreneurial purposes or second business purposes. And I don't know if I could think of an analogy. If he is I work in school, so if he's a school administrator and also the football coach at the school, but he wants to start a business running summer camps for kids, I don't know, I'm willing to help out with things like that. Like, I'd love to build with a man in that way, something that like complements what they already have going on, or even if it's a career switch that they want to make, like they've decided they no longer want to work in one sector and they want to switch. Like, I just feel like if someone's starting from the bottom, then that kind of would leave me as the woman to hold down like the foundational pieces or the financial pieces of the relationship, and I'm not willing to do that. So we both need to come in kind of on the same level, and then I'd be willing to build from there if we decide we have some goals.
Okay. All right, Nora. So at this point of your life, you want a man that's already somewhat established, but not from the bottom. Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Candace. I pass it to you, Camilla. Camilla, what do you think? Do you think that most women today are still willing to build with a man?
I can only talk for myself, and for me, I'm okay to be with them if they're still building, because nobody's going to be 100% in our career, in our character. So like, for example, my previous partner, he was very wealthy, he was very set, he had a lot of houses, he's a CEO of his own company, a businessman. However, he was not very good at communication. And I was like, okay, if you want to still be with me, I'm okay with that. But obviously, that's a huge factor. So, what are you going to do to show me that you're actually working on that? So, for me, that means action. Are we going to look at a relationship book together where we can grow on that? Are you going to seek therapy to heal your wounds from your past relationship that you still have trauma and kind of bringing into this relationship, which is why you lack communication? So a lot of it is just action. A lot of men say things that they're going to do something and they just don't. It's a lot of talk. So as long as they're putting in the work to become a better person, whether it's personally or professionally, then I'm willing to grow with them.
Okay. All right. So you're still willing to build with a man. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Camilla, can I ask a quick question? Was this guy a little bit older than you?
Yeah, he was 50, and I'm 31 for reference.
Okay.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Camilla. I pass it to you, Sanjana. Sanjana, what do you think? What's the reaction to that clip? But what do you think? Do you think women today are still willing to build with a man? Go ahead, Sanjana.
Well, I'm in a very different stage of life right now, and the men in my age group right now are just starting their lives and barely like finding their footing. They're just coming out of university, trying to forge their life paths right now. So there's zero expectation right now for them to be able to like financially support me and lead the way. However, I would ask myself, like, let's say if you ask this question, the same question, but with a friend, like if you were to build with a friend, let's say you had like the next 10 years you had to spend building an entire life with a friend, with your buddy, you would still have some certain prerequisites that you would think about, like, hey, if I'm gonna, invest 10 years of my life with my friend here, what would I want and hope for in my friend to rely on them? So those kind of qualities, as kind of like Camilla was saying, like you can see that very early on if like somebody is serious about growth. And I don't think women can grow alongside men when they don't have, like, women don't feel like they can grow alongside them too. If they're constantly like creating or what's it called, like they're trying to guide and form the man, like, hey, let's go to therapy, hey, like let's heal your wounds, hey, that vision, that business idea you had to start a car dealership or whatever side hustle you wanted to do, like they're just pouring into that. How is she then growing? Therefore she's not like investing in him, like it's not a good positive feedback. So I think at this stage of life, I'm more looking at, is he a man of his word? Does he have grit? If he says an idea, like, does he take actions even if he fails, like, towards it? That's what I would say for now.
Okay. So just to clarify, Sanjana, at this point of your life, you're still you're willing to build with a man, right?
If he met like certain conditions that showed that he would like carry through.
So, if you had those qualities that you just mentioned and he had a foundation, you'd be willing to build with him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Sanjana. I'll pass it to you, Anna. Anna, what do you think? Do you think women today are still willing to build with a man?
Yes, I feel like it goes in a case-by-case basis, like most of the ladies are saying here. In my case, I feel like I'm in a midpoint. I would not start from zero with somebody who has no foundation, no grounds, but I'm willing to look at potential. Do you have a plan? Are you able to, are we going to see results soon? What do you need from me in order for those plans to come into fruition. If the man is already established, welcome, but if there's something that they need from me to do, yes, I'm willing to do so.
Okay. All right. So you be at this point of your life right now, you'd be willing to build with the men as long as they have some kind of foundation, right? Okay. And if the successful establishment happens to come away, you just you just take it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Anna. I'll pass it to you, Jane. Jane, what do you think? Do you think women today are still willing to?
Yeah, I definitely would want to build. I mean, there are things that I want to. There are things that I want to accomplish and things that I want to do that I know that with like the right partner that I could actually do better, faster, have more ideas. And I honestly believe that that's a path for me to find. I totally agree with all the ladies because I think it's really about like what is the character of the man. Like you can tell in like the first 1, 2, 3 dates, right? Like, does he follow through? Does he make plans? Like, is he, if he doesn't treat you well or like, planning within the first 1, 2, 3 dates, like, that that's someone that you don't actually want to build with because like, why? Like, you've already shown me who you are. So, yeah, it's just all about like, I'm not even I guess even like the guys who seem like they have nothing, like if they have character, like if they have that grit and like that, if they have good qualities and you're like, wow, you follow through on your stuff, just like Sanjana and Lovable Curves and Candace said, it's like, yeah, and Anna, like, yes, we can build something together. But if not, then no.
Can I just say something to what Jane said?
Yep.
Sometimes people say like, oh, he was late to pick you up, or it's something small, but it actually shows and translates into bigger aspects.
100%. Yes.
So just because I see that, like, I don't agree with those things, and I just take notes, that doesn't mean that I'm being too harsh. That means that I'm just seeing, I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Right, because it's all about the bigger picture, right? It's like you go on your couple of dates in the beginning, and if they can't even show up on time, you're like, or if they cancel or any of that stuff, you're just like, well, why am I even like? Obviously, you're not valuing me or my time, so why even?
Or if they're even struggling to communicate too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Jane. And so I see you, Lanisha. Hey, what's up, Lanisha? Good to see you in the live chat. And Fatty, hey, what's up, Fatty? Good to see you guys on the live chat. But keep that live chat pop and let me know what you guys think about the topic. Do you think of women today are still willing to build with a man? But I'll pass it to you, Amber. Amber, go ahead and give what's your response to the topic? Go ahead, Amber.
It seems like all of us ladies are pretty much on the same page about things. Maybe we're all a similar age group, but this question is so much gray area. And what I mean by that is, I'm also on board where there's got to be a minimum foundation for me to. Short answer, yes, I would technically want to build with the man, but it has to be at a minimum. And I'm not talking about just assets or things they have physically. I mean that as personality and emotionally as well. They have to have certain attributes to them, and honestly, I want someone that is healed, that doesn't struggle with communication or, that has anger issues. They're still working on themselves with whatever that may be. I've worked on myself. I'm at a point in my life where I've already entered my 30s. I'm at a certain point, I have my own assets, and I'm confident with myself as a person, as a woman. So, I have not even an expectation, more of a requirement where I want someone that's equally to where I'm at, or at least have minimum a plan that is already a work in progress that I don't mind building with, because I believe in marriage and I want to get married. And so I believe that, you know, when I do marry that person, you're obviously building from 2 to 1. So you're able to build each other up, whether that's career or whatever that may be. You know, some people want to be a stay-at-home parent, some don't. However that is for some people, which I would find the gray area. I feel like people really need to value what they feel is equal to them. Everyone, of course, wants something more, the person that's already established, because times are hard and that's the easy way out. But honestly, I think when people kind of look at both sides, not just the other person, but themselves as well, and what's really of equal value, I think it'll be a lot easier for people to find their perfect partner and kind of build from that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you so much, ladies. But let me pass it to the fellas. I'll start with you, Jerk. Jerk, what do you think? Do you think that do you think that most women today are willing to build with a man? Go ahead, Jerk.
Well, to answer the question, I think most, just based on what we're kind of hearing, no. I think a lot of people want to kind of meet somebody at the finish line. But I do think it's more, I like what the ladies were saying on the panel as far as like it being age specific. It's like if you're younger, then you're probably more open to build with somebody and grow with them. But it seems like when you get older, shit, I'm 45. I ain't building with nobody at this point. You don't have your stuff together. It's like, nah, like I ain't even messing with it. So I do understand why somebody that's like a little more older have their stuff together, that they're like, look, I do want to meet somebody that's like close to where I'm at. You know, you done been through that phase already where you grew with somebody, and it's just like, it is pretty tough. So I do understand them sentiments. So I think it's more age specific, but I do deep down inside, most people, you know, want to meet somebody at the finish line.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Jerk. And I'll pass it to you, Damien. Damien, what do you think? Do you think most women today are willing to build with a man?
I'm going to give it a strong maybe, and I'm going to tell you why. Possibly, because it all depends on the degree of agency you want in a relationship. Like, if you need a high degree of agency where you have 50% input in the direction of the relationship and where it's going, you would be most it'd be to your benefit to get with somebody and build together to where you have an equal say in things, you know, because I don't think a lot of women are prepared for the amount of shutting up that's necessary if you get with a guy that's already there at the finish line, like Jerk said. There's a whole lot of, because you got to be on that person's plan. And that's why I asked Camilla if the guy was a little bit older, because she, not only because of where she said his career was and his titles and stuff like that. Yeah, a dude like that is going to be a lot less eager to, like, you know, learn your communication styles and things like that. He's going to be like, what I'm going to provide for you is security, is experience, is ease, or what have you. In a lot of those situations, I'm going to provide comfort in life or what have you, to where you don't have to go out and struggle. But if it's the woman, I think, who's down in dirt with a guy with his building up, that has a struggle, who can say, I don't like the way this is going, we need to change it, or I don't, you know, can we input this? And the person will most likely listen to them if they value that person. So I'm saying, yeah, it's possible if you understand, or if you understand how much agency you want in a relationship. If you just want to be one of those people who just like, I just want somebody to take the wheel and lead me and provide me a life of ease, you need to understand that what comes with that as well.
Can I piggyback off of what Dame said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I think he brought up some good points. Yeah, and I think, you know, say like a lot of times people do want to meet that guy at the finish line that got his stuff together. He's less tolerant. So a lot of times, you know, like if things ain't in order and stuff, he will like move on. And, you know, I think people also that have their stuff together, you know, you're a little more guarded. You're protective over your assets. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I think a lot of people are less tolerant. So I think sometimes, like, I know some of the females said where it was just like they do want equal, but also like somebody they could grow with a little better with a little bit. And I think that's actually better, because I think if you grow with somebody, you could build a connection with them, versus like if you meet that person that has this stuff established, you know, they're very less tolerant to a lot of stuff.
Like,
you got to be willing. Go ahead.
Yeah, like bringing your sorry.
I
Oh,
had dated someone who is a CEO. He's very well established and an attorney, did, IP patents. So when we were in the dating phase, I was like, I have a patent that I've been working on, and I'd love to, you have this in mind, and I've been wanting to launch this, but I haven't. So if we came together and we both have our own houses, we both have our stuff, it would work out. But he actually was like, I actually don't want to build. I just want to go travel. Like, so I was like, oh, okay. And I did build with my last husband for him to like run off with the maid. How cliche is that? So it's like when you do commit, and we built from nothing very young together. So I'm like, when you do commit to someone, it's always a risk, right? That's a risk if you're committed to someone, because you never know if they'll, run off with the maid.
All right.
And that's a good point you made, because it could come to the point where he's like, okay, I've reached a level to where I can set the pace of the relationship solo. I don't have to check in with you. I don't have to get your opinion. I don't have to like consider what you want. It can all be about what I need, and you need to just be a person who's going to fulfill those needs. I will take care of your basic needs. Always have food. You always have nice clothes. You'll have great experiences and stuff like that. But when it's other stuff, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of the drama. I don't want anything like that. They want somebody who's going to be like, how can you just be an easy or a soft place to land, as opposed to somebody who's going to be challenge me on at any turn. That's I said, that's why it's people don't aware of how much shutting up it is to get with a guy who's at the finish line.
Yeah, he's like, I just want a travel buddy to travel the world with me, and I don't want to build another company with anyone, and so it's like, that's cool, like,
Can I chime in here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Camilla.
I think asking for emotional availability isn't the same as drama. I'm the least dramatic person. I gave 0% of that in the relationship, and that's why we never had arguments. But I think asking, regardless of having a lot of wealth that he built, I don't think that justifies not working on communication, because that's just something that I think will also help him grow as a person, which is necessary. It's a good quality, it's a good trait to have, and it pushes him to be uncomfortable. Maybe he'll get triggered with certain topics, and it's a great opportunity for him to learn. Again, coming from a place of good intention and high emotional awareness and acceptance, and especially creating a safe space for him where he can tell me how he feels about anything and there's no judgment.
Oh gosh, he went there with the safe space.
It's difficult, because it's just like what you're saying though. But I'm 50. I do well. If I say, for example, I've been married say my wife lost her mind and decided she wanted to be single again, and we got single, I wouldn't be looking to build with somebody. I'd look for, okay, these are the specific things I need a partner for. Do you meet these parameters? No. Okay, I'm gonna move to the next person and see if that person meet the parameters that I have or what have you. Because it's just difficult to expect a 50-year-old man just to embrace growth if it's because what he's been doing got him successful. So in his mind, why do I need to change anything I'm doing if I'm successful? And and a lot of times, I don't think women know that if you're not the person to give it to me, there's a lot of women out there who will fall in line to where I need it to be. Not that you shouldn't expect it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't expect it. And I didn't call you drama. I don't want you to think I was calling you drama at all. It's just like, there's gets to a point where a dude, like, he gets set in his ways, and it's just hard to say, okay, become a different person than you have been for the last 50 years.
Yeah, and it seemed kind of like a little bit you wanted to change him, because people are who they are. And I don't think he was probably bad at communication, because, if you are a CEO and you rise to that top, you got to be kind of effective with communication. So I think you probably liked a different type of communication.
Yeah,
and I think that was mainly the issue.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that there's always room for growth. And I think that, like, actually to want to just settle down and have a soft life is so boring that I would like, I don't know. I mean,
Wait,
it just
wait.
sounds boring.
Let me just respond to Jane real quick. Let me ask the ladies on the panel, who here would love to have a man take care of you and give you a soft life that you can just fall back and he can just take care of you and your lifestyle. He'll take care of you financially.
Who's your honest enough to say it?
Who on the panel would want that?
Shit, I want a soft life. One of y'all females, I need a female to take care of me.
Wait, so Amber said yes. Who here also?
Way to go, Amber.
What?
No.
I can be honest.
Who else? Be honest. Who else?
Anna, you know you want to raise your hand.
Yes, of course, but I want to know what I'm saying.
Amber,
Yes.
you wanted your men healed completely, which is a really scary thing, actually. Which is why I actually agree with Damien on this one, like 1,000%. Needing a completely healed man when you're still unhealed, and I don't think any human being on this planet is ever fully healed until the day they die, and maybe not even then. Like there are all, like as you said, like Camilla's ex-partner is still learning her communication styles and might not even give a frick to do so, right? Because like why should he? And she didn't build him up to where he was, which makes perfect sense. So why would I want now to like the shut up ability thing? Like I know for a fact that if I met some guy double my age right now, he would give me the easiest life known to man, and I'm sure he would spoil me and do all those things, but there's no emotional connection there, and I'd just be like an object for him to control. And if I didn't, like he doesn't answer to me at all. Like what did I do to enhance his life? How did I pour into him except take? And I know he'd always see me that way, as someone who like took his like, which is
Resources.
why mindset is resources, sorry, lack of a better term, but
No,
that's not how love is supposed. It's like such a skewed way to view it. And I think healing, the whole notion of like healing and everything, you can't fix the things that you need to fix in a relationship outside of them. So you can't be single for like 9 years and be like, I worked on myself so hard and I'm so ready for this perfect dream man. And when you enter that relationship again, those same problems will show up again. So you actually have to be in a relationship to heal together. So if 100%. One person doesn't want to grow and the other person wants to grow, then nobody's growing. So it's just, yeah.
And you have to be uncomfortable to want to change.
Real quick. Let me just because I just want to confirm real quick because I know Amber.
Sanjana was up there cooking.
So yeah, shout out. Thank you so much, Sanjana. Sanjana, I'm sorry.
I thought we was gonna have beef, but we all right now.
But just to confirm here, the ladies on the panel, I know Amber confirmed it, but who else here would love a man that loves you, appreciates you, wants to marry you, but he wants to take the responsibility to take care of you and the children and give you a soft and good quality life? Who here on the panel would take that deal?
Love that. If it's definition of
So Anna said yes. Anna, Lovable Curves said it, and then
Amber said yes.
Amber
Shit,
said
if
yes.
Lovable Curves had 3 arms, she would have raised that other one too.
Or has he like shown himself to do this? Like, is this like he's just telling me on a nice dinner date that I want to have, like, I want you to be the mother of my kids and let me take care of you and pay your bills? Or has he like,
let's just say you've been dating for 6 months. He's been taking you for 6 months. He's been paying your rent. He's been kind of going, you are spoiling you. You see that he's stable in what he's doing or what have you. You've talked about the possibly having kids in the future. He's expressed he wanted children, but he's expressed he has a traditional value where mindset where it's like, I want my wife to stay home and blah blah blah. And it's the 6 month tipping point where he's like, hey, can you rock with that?
Yeah, but then I can't be going and saying like, I'm gonna wear what I want, I'm gonna post what I want, all that then. Because if he's doing traditional like that, then that's a soft life I've signed up for. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So
Did we get Candace on there? I see it in her eyes. She's like in a midway territory.
Candace, would you take that deal, Candace?
No, I don't want that deal. I've been offered that deal before, and I turned it down because I really am proud of my career accomplishments, and I enjoy my career and my goals with everything that I do. So I didn't want to give that up just to be at home. That didn't feel like a fulfilling life to me. I felt like I could still do relationship and do parenting and all of things with me still having a career. And so that's what I would prefer in a relationship, is to be able to still have that.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you so much, Candace. And then Camilla, would you take that deal, Camilla?
Well, soft life is different to everyone. Like Sanjana said, traditional for her, for me, it would just be somebody who meets me at my depth and my level, because there's multiple layers to a relationship. It's not just the wealth, it's the emotional awareness, their philosophical views, and as long as we can meet at the same level and grow with each other, and he allows me to still be free, because I do want to be able to post and wear what I want, that because the freer I am, the more feminine I am, and actually is going to circle back and serve him, because I'm going to feel the best divine goddess that I am, and it's going to actually serve him the most. That would be my soft air, and that's something that I would love.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Camilla. Let me just read some super chats real quick, and I'll come back to you, Damon. I know
Okay.
a lot of you guys want to respond to each other. Shout out to you guys. I see you guys are killing it right now in the live chats. But let me read out some super chats. Mr. Damon Owen said, "Is every woman on this panel single or divorced?" I go to the beginning of the podcast where the intros are. They did confirm it, their relationship status, so you'd be able to get that answer. But thank you so much, Damien. I'll pass it to you, Lanisha. Shout out to you. Most modern women don't want to build. They want to walk into someone taking care of them, a soft life. Thank you so much, Lanisha. And then Stan Joseph said, ladies, make me a gentleman of leisure, sugar mama. All right.
Stan, you bum.
The thing I don't think,
that's the kind of dude that you don't want. You're like next. Like
the thing is that, like, if the guy is providing a life, you really don't get to dictate the kind of parameters of that life. You're kind of on his plan. Yeah, so if he said, it's just like, so I guess your answer would, it seemed like your answer should be closer to no, because like I said, if my wife lost her, I'm never leave my wife. So if my wife lost her mind and decided she wanted to be single and what have you, is the person would have to fit in my plan, and I would do a lot of dictating of what that plan looked like, because I'm already have a trajectory, and all she has to do is just making sure that she fits. She kind of takes care of whatever is lacking in at that point or what have you. You know, my kids will have a great mom, so I don't need children. I don't need insight and all this kind of stuff like that. But it's just one of those things where it's you kind of can't dictate that. You can't be like, oh, he's going to do all these things for me, but I also need him to do X, Y, and Z. No, it's you do what is on his bucket list or his plan, and then you figure that from there.
I just feel like
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does that change if the new woman comes in on your level, financially, asset wise? Does she then get a say in what this new relationship will entail?
If you accept that, like I wouldn't accept that. Like I wouldn't date a woman who made as much money as me if I got single again. It wouldn't happen, because like I said, I'm in a position right now where I have pretty significant traditional values, and I wouldn't want that headache of like trying to back and forth and stuff like that. It'd be like, hey, this is the plan, this is what's going on. I promise, like I'm saying, your life is going to be as easy as possible, that life that you could have. But I don't want, at 50 years old, I don't want to be arguing with people.
Damien, can I ask you also a question? Your relationship with your wife, what kind of relationship do you have? You said you've been with her for 17 years. So like, is it like when you guys make decisions, is it joint decisions? I mean, obviously there's some areas that you're going to make decisions in, and some areas that she's going to make decisions in, but like, what does that look like? Do you guys share?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've gotten that question before. It's like this, and this is a kind of a way, I'm going to simplify it, but then I'll expand upon it. It's like, she always gets the first say, but my word is final. Her word is first, my word is final. And that's kind of how the situation goes. It was like, but she knows everything I say has her best interest in the interest of our kids 100% considered. I would never do something that would make her feel uncomfortable, unsafe, unsecure, or feel like she didn't have she's been left out in the cold. She didn't have a voice in what was going on. But I just feel like the reason why she was comfortable, like, with me, it's because I set plans and I execute plans and I hit checkpoints of where those plans needs to be. So she feels comfortable to be like, if Damien says something's going to happen, it's going to happen because I've established myself as that kind of person.
So you
But,
like that
you know,
basic trust so that she can feel feminine and secure.
and absolutely. And I think, and that's where a lot of cats get it wrong. A lot of men get it wrong. They think I'm just a man, I have a penis, so you need to follow by what I've said. I think that's where women get led astray. I think what happens is if things should be equal for a certain period of time but then if the man has established himself as making good, solid foundations that's moving the relationship and the family forward, and you've established that level of trust where you can fall back and everything he does, you're considered, and everything he does is to make my life and the family's life easier, better, and a better functioning, then you deserve for a woman to fall back and kind of come under your covering and follow your leadership or what have you. Then you deserve that. You've earned that right. And I think that's where I think these conversations between men and women go astray is men are trying to demand it without earning it. Like I said, it took me a good 4 or 5 years of my relationship to really earn it. Because my wife was working. She was actually making more money than me when we first started working. And then we started having children, and we both established how many children we wanted to have. And I said, she said, I want to stay home with the kids. I was like, okay, that's what I want as well. So I will put you in a position where you can stay at home. I work my ass off, do what I have to do to make it where you can stay at home with the children. So, and all the decisions I've made have moved us forward, but she's had agency and input in all that shit because she started for me when I had nothing, like I said before. But if she would have came to me now, she wouldn't have had as much input in anything that we do. It's just like, you just sit back and enjoy the ride. And that's just kind of the way it is.
Hey, can I jump in real quick? Because Dame was spitting some facts, but me and my wife are both high earners. But I think the key is, man, getting with somebody that aligns with you, decision making wise, how you view things. And I think if you move intentional like that, then you're not going to have a lot of issues. And like Dame said, it's once you build that trust and somebody kind of trusting you, I don't think a lot of people push back too much if that guy that has that leadership is looking out for your best interests, clued you into the decision making and stuff like that, because it's not a dictatorship. I think sometimes that's where people's oh, you're not going to clue me in, you're going to be making decisions without me. It's nah, my wife, she makes a lot of decisions, but like I said, we put the household first, where any decision we're going to make is what's going to advance the house. So a lot of times I'll be man, I handle certain things. She might handle some stuff, but like I said, it's for the betterment of the house. And I think if you find that person with that, you're not going to have a lot of issues and stuff.
So all the dudes complaining are just untrustworthy. I think that okay. They're
not controlling it, or they've been led astray by other dudes who to make them think that just because you have a dick, you are supposed to be the head of the household. That is a position you earn. Just like every other position in life, you earn the right to be the head of your household. I've earned the right. And I think that's what men like myself and Jerk and Will need to impart to the younger generation is you earn this right through good decision making that consistently moves you guys forward. You just don't come and I think that, and I think that's where shit get skewed when it comes to men and women.
Hey Jane, a quick question. I know you mentioned before that you didn't want to take that deal, but you did say that having a soft life is boring. Can you expand on that? Why do you think a man providing the full finances for his wife?
Because I have lots of opinions, and I like to be free, and I want to. The partner that I choose needs to be okay with. I want to make those decisions together, and not in the same way that Damien and Sophisticated Jerk do. I actually want a compromised decision. I don't want my opinion subordinated, because I think we need to contribute equally. So
I can tell Jane don't have a high level of shutting up. I remember that from the last time we went together. Her shutting up level is way down here.
So Jane, don't take this to what happened if he's just
take it the wrong way. Go.
No, I'm just saying, what happened if your man's a little more strategic than you? and he's always looking at the bigger picture. He's maybe like 2 to 3 steps ahead. Because like I said, my wife
be
is
2 to 3 steps ahead of me. I'm probably like 10 steps ahead of him. Like, what are you talking about?
okay.
Shedding up level.
You're gonna have
down
issues.
here. She's not gonna be.
Jane, do you prefer your man to lead or not?
In certain respects. You know, do I want I want emotional security. I want to be able to like trust the person. I don't think that they need to earn more money than me necessarily, but they have to be a trustworthy person. Like, I'm investing my time in you. Time is something I will never get back. So if I'm investing my time in you, then I better be able to trust you.
Yes. No. What I'm saying is, of course.
But he's investing time too.
So what I'm saying is, no,
exactly.
I know.
It goes both ways.
I'm talking about a man that knows how to lead. Now, I do agree. There's a lot of men out there that they think by default, just because like Dame said, they're born a male, that automatically you should submit to their leadership. But we already leadership is something that you have to be earned. But what I'm saying is, if you come across a man that knows how to lead, healthy, good, strong leadership, do you prefer that type of man that knows how to lead in a healthy way?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd have to get to a point of really respecting that man and trusting him and trusting his decision-making skills. And then I will put all my support behind that person. But until I get to that point, I wouldn't just here, take the reins.
Jane is a boss.
Okay.
In every form of the word, Jane is a boss. It'd be tough for her to put that boss hat off.
I agree. I agree with Jane. I do understand where she's coming from, because I do agree. I think most women would want a man that knows how to lead her, but I do agree that men have to earn that leadership and show you a consistent body of work, to show you some kind of evidence for you to be able to trust that type of man. But I just think because of today's the way we date today, a lot of times women have not come across that type of man or never seen that type of leadership in their own personal life. So it's kind of foreign to them. So the reason why we're kind of having a conversation is sometimes women would say, hey, I want a man to lead me, but I also don't want him. I only want him to lead in certain aspects. But I think that type of man that wants to be a leader has done the work. He's not coming into your life to be a part-time leader. He's coming into your life to be a full-time leader.
It's kind of like if you're good in your life, like you're making your own money and you have your own assets and you're doing this, that, and the other. Like, when you bring the man into your life, what value is he adding to your life? It goes both ways. It's like, what value is the woman or the person that you're going to add into your life going to, what are they bringing? So it's like you have boundaries and it's not boundaries, sorry. It's literally just, are you adding value or are you not adding value? That's it.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm good with or without you. So are you going to enhance my life or not? And also, there are men out there who can be predatory and rely on me for everything just so you can't leave. And then I switch up and I flip it. Crazy. But
Anna, you had a question, Anna?
Yeah. So from what I have been able to gather from Damien and Dirk, it's basically they're saying that a man that provides a soft life will not allow me to be my own person. Is that what you guys are saying?
Not at all.
No.
Okay, because that's what it feels like you guys are saying. That you basically, that's what I understood, that they will tell me what to wear, what to post, or what things to do and not to do. So then can you clarify?
Okay, the majority of dudes who like a guy who just, okay, I'm 50 years old and I'm 45, maybe you won't date 50, whatever, 45 or 40 or whatever, because those are the guys who are in the position to provide that for you. How old are you, Anna?
I'm 27.
Hey, ain't no 27-year-old dude gonna provide you for soft life. So he's gonna be a dude, 15 to 20 years your senior. They're like, and they've been around, they bust their ass to do that. So what they're going to do is they're going to lay out, they're going to say, these are the things that I would need in order for you to do that. And you would have to agree to those things and live up to those things. They're not going to just be like, okay, they're going to say you can be whoever you want, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh no, you can't wear that, or you know you can't do that. They're going to be like, here's the things that I need for you in order to feel comfortable providing you this soft life. And if you agree to it, if it's part of who you are, then you rock on. If it's not, if you need to post what you want and wear what you want and all that kind of stuff like that, he gonna say, okay, we can kick it for a minute, but I'm probably not gonna marry you. It's gonna be a short-term relationship that's gonna be fun, and then it's gonna end, and he's gonna find somebody who will agree to the things that he's putting out there. What he needs, because there's a ton of women who say, let me get this straight, you're a millionaire and you're gonna put me in a house. I don't have to work. I'm gonna be able to shop. I'm gonna have great kids. My kids are gonna be safe, secure, and you know, and you're gonna like treat me like a queen. And all I got to do is not post on social media. All I got to do is not hang out, to not go wild out and embarrass you in public. Because usually those dudes have a public persona that they're trying to protect, and to see your wife, you know, with her ass out on Instagram is probably something that they don't want to have affect their public persona, you know. So that's the things that he's going to lay out for you, and you have to decide if you can rock with that. If you can rock with that, then you get the soft life. If you don't, you get another life that's going to be just as great and fulfilling.
And Anna, that's why I said earlier, you should move with attention. It's like you should get with somebody that, like, if you're a guy, you want somebody to dress conservative, you should be able to spot that early on. And like Dame said, you have those conversations up front. So yeah, I'm not big on trying to control nobody. It's just like people are who they are. And if they don't meet up to that criteria, you need to move on. I think people try to change each other, or, you know, it's sometimes if I've seen some females, if they want a certain lifestyle, they might play that game a little bit and then they conform back to who they were. Or sometimes some guys might see them like dressed a certain way, then they want to try to change them. And I think that's wrong. Set people for who they are up front, and then you just make that decision. Like, nah, this ain't who I need to be with, and I need to move on. But yeah, nah, you shouldn't be trying to control somebody.
A dude that's well off with intentions of locking you down will have higher expectations of your behavior. A dude that's like, you can do whatever you want, he ain't gonna try to, he ain't wifing you. If you're like, oh, go ahead, post what you want, say what you want, do what you want, be at the party, at the club, dancing on tables, like, you know, and whatever, do, you know, post. He has zero intention of making you his wife. He's gonna have fun with you for a while, and then when the newness wearing off, he's gonna go to the next chick. You're gonna start to look real regular, and then he's gonna go to the next chick, and then he's gonna say, okay, what you about? Can you rock with these how I need you to rock? Oh, you can't? Okay, let's have fun for a little bit. You can? All right, you get the soft life.
Damien, can I ask you something?
Please.
Wouldn't you, in a sense, want to give them that freedom to see what they choose?
Nope.
Because then is it by force then if you're saying, hey?
No, it's by incentivize. You incentivize people, say, here are the incentives for you to act accordingly to the way I feel like I would want my person to act. And if you can't, you can move on. Like I said, there is the rare guy out there who's all those things, who wants to provide you the soft life and wants you to be free to do all the things that you want to do. But good luck finding that motherfucker. I'm sorry. Good luck. I mean, the thing is, you will more likely find the guy who's going to provide you the soft life, who's more like the way I am or the way I would be if I was a single guy out there or what have you. You're more likely to find more people with my mentality than a guy that's like, oh, I'm going to give you all these access to my resources and the hard work I've done, and you can just do what you want to do. That guy doesn't exist. And if he does, like I said,
exist, and there's a lot of guys out and like that. Most of my guy friends.
Your connection is breaking up. Your connection is breaking up. Yeah, your connection is breaking up.
He loved it.
Camilla, your connection is breaking up. We just maybe, I don't know if you
were
buffering. But just to add on what Damien said, like any man that stands by his values and his beliefs is not going to force a woman to follow him, especially the plan that he has set for his life. He's going to offer you a deal. Like, this is my life. This is where I want to go. This is my boundaries. This is the issues I have and what I look for in a woman. It's up to you to take this deal. So if you don't want to do the things that he wants to do, so if he's asking you, hey, can you be more conservative? We have a status, we're a family, you're a wife, I represent you, you represent me. We have to be able to dress in a way and behave in a way that represents ourselves and the marriage and our last name. So they're just going to offer you the deal. If you don't want to take that deal, then that man will be able to walk away. But the problem is there's a lot of guys out there who don't stand by their beliefs and their boundaries, and they'll compromise themselves just to be with you. But those are the type of guys, but usually those are the type of guys that they'll let you run all over them. And for women, you don't want to be.
You won't respect them.
You won't be able to respect the man that you.
It literally sounds like the conversation I have when I'm talking to some dude. Like that's the conversation that goes on in my mind. Like exactly what you said, Will, like is exactly what I'm thinking. Like, hey, this is what I bring to the table. This is who I am. This is what I want. It's like an equivalent conversation amongst people who have like, that actually want something real, not like just trying to use people. Like, I don't know, like.
But let me real quick. Let me get some people involved because I know I want to make sure everybody at the panel gets some time. Sanjana, did you want to add on to anything that anybody said or respond to anybody?
I was just thinking about my own dating experience right now. Just as I've gotten older, like there's this guy that he has my head turned like completely. I'm so inspired by this man. Like he's my age and he's doing so much. But I barely get to see him. So recently I've been like really kind of at first couple months, I've been really kind of bummed that like, I thought he wasn't interested in me and like, he's just playing me or whatever. But I understood pretty quickly after we met, like we had some very serious conversations. He's like, I haven't even dated anyone because, women don't understand that like, I simply just don't have the time to like give a woman right now. And it's also hard to find a girl that like wants to wait it out and like build with me and like wait when I finish my master's in January. Like that's going to take a long time. And after January, then I'll have more time, whatever. And usually like an 18, 19-year-old me, I would have been like, no, like he's not making time for me, doesn't care about me. Like this isn't going to go anywhere. But recently, like just through his like actions and his like consistency with things, I'm starting to see that he does mean everything that he says. And I know he's not healed. I'm not healed. We have this like common vision and goal for the next 5 years. And because of that, like I don't agree anymore that like, men like kind of have to like women have to be the lead. Like I don't want to ever be in competition with my man. I never want to be like competing with him in terms of like doing better than him. Like I hope he's doing better than me. I hope he can like when I'm in a rut, I want him to be able to figure out how to like fix a mistake. Or if I'm at the airport and I miss my flight, like I hope I can call him, and for him to help me like through my problems of life. In similar ways, like I'll help him by being more understanding with his really busy schedule or like accommodating him or whatever he needs from me. So I think that it's very, very simple, but it's been made very complicated. If the man and woman are intrinsically and at the very same time interested and have the same goal, and they have steps in place to want to achieve them, within the first 2 or 3 conversations, you will know. So it's very rare that like most people know what they're signing up for from the get, and they like the fact that they can play around with these games or like tell their girl what to wear, and the girl's going to be like, whatever, like stand up for her body rights. Like some men, like I know for myself, I have some cardinal rules. I wouldn't want my man watching porn. That's not allowed. Like I have some certain things. So guys start fighting about like liking other girls' pictures on Instagram. I'm not about that. So that if he turns around and he has something for me, may it be more societally irrational, if it makes him feel like that's my woman and she has my back, and even if like she's listening to me, just like when I have an irrational request for him, like don't breathe the wrong way at that woman just because like it pisses me off right now. You should be able to go above and beyond for each other. Like that's what love is supposed to be about. Like I don't know when it sounds so stressful hearing about it right now.
I am about to send Sanjana a cash app.
All
She
right.
is cooking.
Thank you so much, Sanjana. I want to give you some time, Amber, because I know you haven't spoken. But Amber, did you want to add on to respond to what somebody said?
I definitely agree with Sanjana and what the gentlemen are saying. I think what a lot of women, and I'm not attacking us, I'm just saying what I think a lot of women kind of get stuck with. The difference for men is being misogynistic and being a leader. You know, there's the leaders just like Damien and Jerk were saying. They're at a certain point in their life where they have the success, they have the assets or whatever, and in their mindset they have these specific values that they're looking for in a woman, and either you meet them or you don't, and it's up to you if that's what you want to do in the relationship. But and as a woman myself, you know, I've struggled with trying to find a man that can lead, but that isn't so misogynistic towards me. That I will gladly let a man lead. I have no issue with that, but don't treat me not like a partner. You know, I'm not someone that's going to argue with you about decisions being made, but don't treat me like, you know, like I don't have a voice on something. Like I like what Damien said, because I'm more on the traditional side as well. But I will say the difference is I don't mind having my own career path. You know, I want to start a business, so I wouldn't mind doing that on the side. I don't really want to be a stay-at-home mom, so that's kind of where I have my balance. But I like what he said about, you know, his wife has words and she's the first to speak, but at the end of the day, he's still the decision maker and he knows what's best. And that's why they've been together for so long, because they were able to have that connection to where she trusts him to make those decisions, because you know, they've built that together. So I think what a lot of women confuse that is, you know, they're feeling like, well, I don't have a say so in things, or you know, you're telling me what to do. And it's not that. At the end of the day, it's really whether your values and that person's values are aligned at that point, and everything else in between kind of falls together, like with the assets and whatnot. So I've been on both sides, honestly. You know, I've been fortunate, I would say fortunate enough, younger in my 20s, where I've dated successful men, and it was very, you know, you have to act a certain way, be a certain way. And at the time, that just wasn't for me. And that's why I'm not married to someone like that. And I've also been on the side where I've dated guys that didn't really have anything figured out. And I've had the money and I've treated them. I guess you could say sugar mama. I don't know, however you want to put that without it being that way. It was, but, you know, and it didn't work out because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is not what I want. I see how they're treating me just because I have money, and these are the values I want, and they don't fit that. So I've been on both sides and I can see it both ways. And it's just really about finding middle ground with values between the man and the woman.
Something you said is very important. I think a lot of times people equate like that leadership aspect or with money, like you said, because there's other ways a man can establish himself as a leader if the woman is making. I'm not saying if you've gone to school for 15 years and you're a corporate lawyer that you can be like, okay, I'm with this guy, I'm with you. Now I got to give up all that. No, but that is not the kind of situation that we're talking about. I'm saying what it is how he needs to establish himself in other ways. And the quickest way to establish himself as a leader, that somebody, if he has consistent plans and consistent actions that are moving you forward, and it's making your life easier, not harder. That's the thing. That's the important piece of it, that it needs to consistently make your life easier. There may be times where things that may be tough and it's going back and forth, but the ultimate goal and most of his actions need to be strutted around making your life easier. That's how you know, even if he's not making as much money, that he still has a plan and he's deserving to have some kind of leadership role in the relationship.
Hey, can I say one thing real quick, Will?
Can I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking about making life easier, I've seen that the younger men in my generation, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to make a woman's life easier. And I'm not talking about paying bills. It's the smallest things. For example, last week I was out with my friend, and then we went to the bar, and it was raining. It was pouring rain, and the guy was gonna park the car and make us walk back to the bar. And I was like, it didn't click in your mind to park the car in front of the bar so we can get out and not get wet. Then you can find parking and come back. And he was like, and I just told him, I can tell you've never had a girlfriend before. And eventually, yeah, he told me he never had a girlfriend.
Okay. All right. No worries. And then, yeah, definitely rethink that dude. Jerk, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just gonna point out, and I wanted to say this when Jane was here, because like I get where she's very smart, got your stuff together, but I think where some of the contradiction comes with, I'll say the females, what you guys are asking for. So I know earlier we went around and we were like, you guys said you want somebody equal or better. So, you know, when you're asking for a leader that's equal and better, and then you want to kind of, you know, go tit for tat a little bit, or, you know, wrestle with the leadership, you know, you might not want nobody that's like equal or better than, you know, if you want to kind of have more of a say so. So it's almost like you guys want this person that's a little bit more qualified, but then it's just like, nah, you know what? Once I get you, then, you know, we got to make decisions together. So maybe you
lead me, but don't tell me what to do.
What was that?
I said, lead me, but don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, so it's just it's kind of a contradiction. So like with guys, we don't ask for equal or better most of the times. So I think maybe y'all need to take that into consideration.
But yeah, just to I agree with you, Jerk. But just to be fair to Jane, I think a lot of women who have that same mentality, unfortunately, they've never come across that type of man. So it's something like
they will.
I don't think a lot of women have seen good, healthy, strong, masculine leadership. They don't see that within their own families, or they don't come across that type of man. So when we talk about strong masculine leadership, that we often talk about in the Masculine Mind tomorrow, a quick plug for all the people out there, but it's something that's not seen in today's society. You know, back in the day, 50 years ago, you know, masculine leadership was something that you've seen with a lot of men, but you don't see that today compared to, there's only a rare majority, a small amount of men that have that strong leadership, masculine leadership that we talk about. So oftentimes women have never experienced it. So when you talk about a man coming into their life to lead them to make good decisions, that knows how to communicate, that knows how to be understanding, that's something that they've never experienced before. So that's why they're very hesitant to allow a man to come into their life. And that's why they give you that pushback. Okay, I really want to make sure first. I really want to make sure first that he can do that, because I still want to be able to push back. Because I promise you, if all the women on this panel, if they would have met that strong masculine leadership man already, they wouldn't be talking about, complaining about, and pushing back about a man leading, if they already come across that type of man.
But there are some combative people out there that, even though that's
true.
I have a comment to say about leadership. Well,
but I do want to read some super chats real quick. And Stanley, thank you for jumping on. Congo English said, great topic and dialogue. Shout out to you, Congo English. And then Damon said, I hate the commercials. Hey, watch the commercials. It supports the channel. Thank you so much, Damien. But I had a discussion I want to bring to the panel. It's something
I think Candace wanted to say something.
Yeah,
real
I think
quick.
she wanted. Candace wanted to jump.
She's been waiting.
Did you want to say something, Candace? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say something about leadership. And I know a relationship may be different than corporate America, but some great leaders that I've seen in the workplace usually hire other great leaders to be on their team with them so that they can collaborate and come up with the best decisions, so that they can identify who has strengths and weaknesses, identify what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then delegate certain things to people instead of just dominating all of the decision making. I think a good leader knows how to facilitate all of those things. And so I translate that into relationships and hope that the man that I would agree to be with, to be the leader of my household or our relationship, I will hope that he's a great leader in that respect, and that he recognizes like values and skills that I may have that he may not be as good at, and vice versa. And that he, chooses to lead in that way.
Let me reply to that. The most masculine thing a man can do is recognize there are things that women do far better than him. And the most feminine thing a woman can do is recognize there's things that a man does far better than her. And like you said, I don't even know my kids' teachers' names. I don't know who their doctors' names. I don't know when my wife has something to do and I have to take my kids, she has to send me like the address of where to go. She just knows where to go when it's time for the doctor's appointment. She knows orthodontists, eye doctors, all that kind of stuff. There's certain things when she comes to that stuff, she's far better. And like I said, and when she was working, she was a project manager, so she made spreadsheets left and right. So she manages the budget. Like we have a discussion, she's created the spreadsheet, she knows where things go and stuff like that. Because I suck at that, I'm good at.
Isn't your wife leading because like the money that you give her, she has to lead the house with that money while you're out doing whatever you're doing, and
I think that's more of a collaborative thing because she doesn't just be like we discuss where it's going and things like that. So that's more of a collaborative thing. But when she's out and about, she has to make there's a lot of decisions I don't make. Like I don't even know of. She'll just tell me, hey, I took my son to the doctor or whatever because of X, Y, and Z. Or my son's going to be 8. He has his 7 o'clock. His 7-year-old appointment. He has to go to that. I don't even know of these things. And my sons and daughter is well taken care of. They're healthy. They're because of her. And because she does that thing better. She pays attention to the fine print. I'm the big picture guy. Better than me. And I think that's what works well. It's like there's a role that she does way better than me. And there's a role that we both established, she's agreed that I do far better than her.
And they complement each other. And that's what you guys work together.
Yep.
I think that that's why I said that I don't think a lot of women have come across strong, healthy masculine leadership, because every single time we talk about masculine leadership, a lot of times the women will always say, I'm afraid that I don't have a voice or any say in the relationship. And I think Damien made a great point. Any man that knows how to lead absolutely values his wife's input, right? But I think the wife has been with him, but he's shown consistent decision-making skills that she can trust him to make the decision. And I think oftentimes when we talk about leadership, that's the biggest concern for a lot of women is, what if I don't want to be controlled, or I don't want him to be a dictator, which I don't consider leadership. That's more of being a tyrant, right? So a good leader, like you mentioned before, Candace, especially in the workplace, a good leader knows how to delegate, knows how to communicate, knows how to work as a team, because it is a team effort in a relationship. So if the man doesn't value your input, I wouldn't necessarily call him a leader. But oftentimes, because women haven't come across that type of man, I think that's their biggest concern. They've come across a lot of guys who don't know how to lead or try to be very controlling. So they had a bad experience. So when they finally come across a man that knows how to lead and willing to show that consistent work, they're still very hesitant to allow him to do that because the previous guy wasn't able to do that. But I think any man that knows how to lead, he wants that responsibility, but he also values, understands that there's some things that my wife does better than me. There's a lot of things that she has a lot of experience. Women are more educated now. Women can start businesses. Women are having careers. So why wouldn't a man want to ask her input when he comes to making a decision that's going to impact them, both of them, and the family? It doesn't make sense not to ask your woman, your wife, for input if you're going to make a decision and it's going to impact everybody. But I had something I want to respond to, a topic I want to bring to the panel before we conclude the podcast. It was something that Camila brought up. I think it's a great topic to discuss. But a quick question I want to ask the panel. Do you guys all on the panel agree that the way you live your lifestyle when you're single is going to be different when you're married and you're in a long-term relationship with somebody?
Yes, I agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we all agree with that? Does anybody here disagree?
Wait, say it again.
The way you live your lifestyle when you're single is totally different compared when you're married and in a long-term relationship.
I don't think it has to be a yes or no. You can use some of your values and how you live your life as a single person and in a relationship.
What I'm saying is, Anna, is when you're single, you can just live your life because you're just single, because you're just by yourself. But when you have a partner, when you make decisions for yourself, you have to consider how it's going to affect them. So it's going to be different.
Yeah. Okay. There.
Or do you agree with that? Okay. So no. So my I want to have this conversation. So Camilla brought up something. I think it was important, because I think it is something that I do see when it's causing a lot of issues in the relationship between men and women today. Camilla said that don't you? I think she said it on the previously that don't you want to be in a relationship where you have absolute freedom? All right, so I'm gonna say something that's a lot of people might disagree with, but I truly believe this. There's no such thing as freedom in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, you have to do things that's going to be considerate of the other person when it comes to their boundaries, of morals and values. You can't be in a relationship or you can't be married to somebody and just do whatever you want. That's not the whole point of being married. If you want to do whatever you want and have nobody tell you or consider how it affects other people, then be single. But if you're going to be in a relationship where you have children, where you have a wife, you have a husband, your decisions that impacts the people that you're in a relationship with, there's no such thing as freedom, right? So you can't have full autonomy and do whatever you want. So I think it's something that I do see today, that there's a lot of men and women out there that want to be in a relationship, they want to be married, they want to be wifed up, or they want to be a husband, but they still want to live their same life being single. They don't want to make the sacrifices. They don't want to make the changes, right? They don't want to put somebody else first. That's something, I know we have this very independent mentality when it comes to modern dating, but relationships is about interdependence. It's not about independency. You can be independent when you're single, but when you're in a relationship, that means you're considering other people and you're dependent on somebody else. So you have to consider how your decisions affects them. So this whole notion that you can be free, and I would argue if you're in a relationship and you're married to somebody that lets you do absolutely what you want, I would call that person weak, or that person doesn't really love you like that. Because somebody truly loves you, they're not going to let you wild out. They're not going to let you just do anything and not think about the consequences, how it affects you and also how it affects them. So I want to bring that conversation up. Do you guys agree? Do you guys believe that you can be in a relationship, you can be married to somebody and still love them and still respect them, but that person will let you do whatever you want? Because there is this mentality that I see today in modern dating, that I want to be married, I want a relationship. I don't want that person to tell me what to do. I don't want that person to tell me to make any changes. I just want that person to accept me and I can do whatever I want. But I still want the benefits of a relationship, of being with that person, what they add to me, but I don't want any boundaries. I don't want any restrictions on my life. And I think that's not what relationships are. It's not based on freedom. It's based on set values, set boundaries that you have agreed upon about both you and your partner. But this notion that you can be in a relationship and married and you can do whatever you want, and you can be free, that the men can just go out there and party all night and the women can go out there and dress however they want. That's a recipe for failure. Because people that truly love and respect you, you're going to have something that you guys are going to agree and do for each other. But there's no such thing as freedom, true freedom, when it comes to a relationship. Let me pass it back to the panel. Do you guys agree, disagree? Do you guys believe that you can be married, you can be in a relationship, but you can have absolute freedom, and that person cannot tell you what to do and how you live your life? Because I just want my own freedom of being myself. What do you guys think? I've just passed it. Anybody can go.
Oh. Go ahead.
Women don't respect men who don't have boundaries. That's just it. You will not respect your man if he doesn't have boundaries. A man who lets you do whatever you want and just says, go ahead and what you brought, you will never respect that man. I don't care how good it sounds or whatever. You will not respect him. It's the man who has boundaries, because that means he has a plan. If a man, and then you respect that. And like, I think what people get it twisted is like, I don't like you said. Well, I don't have freedom in my relationship. I remember I was on a podcast with somebody, and I compared my relationship like Game of Thrones. It's like I'm the hand of the king. My wife is the queen. The relationship is the king. I serve the relationship. I'm in a position of service to the relationship, to my family. So I'm not. I make decisions and stuff like that, and I have agency or what have you. But ultimately, if it doesn't benefit the relationship or it's going to harm the relationship, I can't make that decision. So I'm not free. Anybody who's in any type of leadership role and recognizes it and values it knows they are in a service occupation. They're not free to just do whatever the hell they want.
I also like to think about it in like for girls, like the analogy I would use is like, are you really free when you're trying to attain your Kylie Jenner body? when you're working out at the gym, are you free to eat, act, drink however much you want if you want a successful outcome? No. If you want to become successful in your career, like Candace, like you're seem like a woman of many accolades, you are not free to do whatever you want at every point of time. You actually have to serve yourself and grind and hustle in the gym in the library and do what you got to do, whether you like it or not, because you're serving the greater purpose of your future. So the same thing with relationships is that you're not free to do whatever you want. You can't act like if you want the outcome to be successful. If you want to just do you and you do you, boo, and I do me, then there's no us.
All right.
I think Lovable wants to jump in there. She might have to leave.
Yeah, Lovable. Go ahead, Lovable.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. Like, you have to give up and compromise a lot unless both people are like in this weird, I want to be in, an open, free relationship, and that's like their whole jam. But that is very rare, and it's not traditional. But then I also agree with what Sanjay said, because if you're in a position at a school district, everything you do online, it reflects, and they even have that like in the handbook, like what you can and cannot post, because kids are online these days. And yeah, I think that when you are single, it might behoove you to present yourself as if you were in a relationship and kind of prepare yourself for that future person that you want to be with, and think about, consider your future partner when it comes to like acting different when you're single or in a relationship.
Yeah, thank you so much, Level Curves. Let me pass it to Camilla, because I know you're the one that brought that up. But what do you think about that? Do you believe that you could be in a relationship and be married to somebody and have absolute freedom, or there's going to be restrictions based on the agreement that you have with that partner? What do you think, Camilla?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Well?
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant by that was not total freedom, of course. I meant something completely different. Because I was in a controlling relationship at some point where this partner that I had would not allow me to have male friends. He didn't want me to dance anymore because I do professional heels dance, and he was like, that's too provocative, even though it's really just a passion that a woman has, feminine. And so what I mean by that is like being in a relationship with somebody who allows me to be who I want to be a scientist, be a philosophist, have male friends. But at the same time, I'm fully, completely loyal to him. And we have that conversation up front if they want it to be open. But to have freedom is for him to not control me to the point where I am not happy anymore, because I have to sacrifice things that I don't believe have to be sacrificed in a relationship, like having friends or passions.
Quick question, Camilla. Do you think that was controlling of him, or do you think that he was just expressing his boundaries in a relationship, or do you think that's different from being controlled?
That could be a preference. I don't think that's necessarily a boundary, is by prohibiting a woman to do what she wants, which is not harmful to anybody. And that's fine. It kind of goes back to where you'll be with whoever you're compatible with at the end of the day. Like, if that's something he wanted, I could just walk away and be like, I just want something different, and be with someone else where we'll actually align and be on the same level and we want the same things.
Okay.
And were those guy friends that was it guy friends?
Yeah, but totally safe, smart. They were like my biochem friends, no shadiness whatsoever. And I even proved time and time again how like trustworthy me and everyone else is, because I'm not a shady person. He allows me to post whatever I want as well, and I don't post like in a thong or whatever. I don't post like provocative shit. So it's again giving me that freedom, but also showing, like Damien said, he trusts me. He would trust me because I've proven through this freedom that I'm the type of girl who he would want to be with, who he would want me to meet his parents. Because at the end of the day, I have non-shady friends. I have high IQ, high EQ, emotional awareness. I'm going to make the right choices.
Okay. No, it just sounds like. I mean, to me, based on what I heard, it just sounds like he was just presenting the things that he wanted and looked for to be comfortable in a relationship with you. And like we mentioned it before, it's it's up to you if you want to accept it or not. It just seems like that he presented to you, you didn't agree upon it, and then you guys went your separate ways.
Yeah, there's a bit more to it, but I mean, we went our separate ways. And maybe it's a bit of what you mentioned, that most women don't meet men who are like that and don't end up being abusive, because he ended up being very highly physically abusive, because
Okay.
he didn't like what I was posting or who I was hanging out with, and it ended up in violence.
Yeah, don't fuck that shit.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Okay, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole different, but there's different levels of boundary and insecurity. There's like, yeah, like I wouldn't want my wife posting provocative shit because I feel like, and I said this on Will's show when I came down to visit him. It was like there's certain, like, what you do is diminish his status. It's like, you're showing the best thing you do for your man is show that he has status over every other man that you engage with or you come across with, or any other man on the planet. It's like, say, you know what, this is the guy who gets to see me like scantily clad, or this is the guy who gets to have access to my body, not just everybody, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good when he sees me dressed sexy. I don't need everybody on the planet to, I think there's a way you can, that's the reason why guys have those parameters. But if it gets to the point where it's just like, if it gets physical, that means that the person is probably coming from a place of insecurity where it's just like, I feel less than the guys that would be seeing you, that the guys who may have access to you. So yeah, if there's a way that you can successfully, and I talked about this on my show before, there's a way you can successfully, if you're going to have male friends that you had forever, there's a way you can successfully introduce him to your man and make shit okay. Make him be more comfortable in the situation.
And Camila, you pretty much introduce all this stuff up front to like any guy that you'll start talking to. Is that what you typically do? Yeah. So I mean, if people are coming in and then they get with you and then they want to start changing you, that's what I said. That's where people go wrong, because this is like, if you have an issue with it up front, like with me, I wouldn't go down that path with somebody if I saw things that I would consider like passing my boundaries or red flags. I'm just gonna stop at that. I don't mind
changing because I love to evolve. I think we're always changing. I would not want to be stagnant in any way, shape, or form. So I actually would like to be with somebody who challenges some of my thoughts, and I like to have open dialogue and direct communication.
But see, that's where the tricky, that's where that contradiction comes. Because if they start challenge you a little bit, then you're going to be like, well, they're kind of controlling. So that's what I'm saying. It's a slippery slope.
Because they can challenge me, and I have been with my mature boyfriend, and I have changed. I have become such a better person because of him, because we see things very differently. But if they're abusive, then no, Yeah. But I like to grow, and I want to grow. I don't want to be stagnant.
But you should kind of want to do that on your own versus like somebody else.
I don't want to be with someone who just agrees with everything I have to say. Like I do want there to be some open dialogue and some challenges.
Is that true, Anna, Amber, and Candace? Do you want men that can challenge you, or do you want the simp that's going to agree to everything that's you're going to say?
Or what do you want to say? I wonder what they're going to answer.
It's the way that you deliver the message, because you can tell me whatever it's in your mind. It's just how you tell me. You can try to guide me, but not try to push me a certain way.
Anna and Amber and Candace, have you ever been with a guy that allowed you to do whatever? Like, he never pushed back against you, he never disagreed with you, he just agreed with whatever you did? How did that relationship go? And did you respect?
Anna's like, hell yeah.
Did you respect him? And overall, did you respect him as a man? What, Anna?
Yes, I have, and I felt like I had the pants in that relationship. I felt like I was the man. I was the one making the decisions. And I was like, at some point, it was fun for a while. But at some point, I said, like, I need more.
Okay. Amber?
yeah, that person stayed in the friend zone because I didn't have enough respect to want to pursue anything further. I felt like I wasn't being mentally stimulated and there was no growth, and he was just a pushover, and I didn't like that, so it never really went anywhere.
Okay. All right. God bless the friend zone. And then Candace.
Yeah, I've had that kind of relationship before too, and it didn't go over well, and partially because I ended up finding out that he was lying to create this. I don't know, like he was doing everything and more, and at the detriment of his own house, like not paying his bills so that he could pretend to provide all these things. So that didn't work out well. But I did want to add something to what I don't know, Camila, or just the last comment people were talking about with, I feel like there's got to be a thin line between him being a complete pushover and trying to just do everything you want, and having those boundaries. Because I think Anna even touched on, like, it's the way you say it. Like if it comes out in a way that sounds demeaning or aggressive or controlling, like there's a difference between that and then like providing like your boundaries in a constructive way that's not criticizing. An example I can think of is like the way when a woman dresses. And I didn't get criticism from a man or anything, but when I was younger, my first placement was in a high school, and I was 24, fresh out of grad school. I looked nice, and one of the ladies in the main office pulled me to the side, and was an older woman, and she just had a heart-to-heart conversation with me, and it felt genuine. It was like, if you want them to call you Miss, you want them to respect you, you might want to go buy a jacket or a sweater or something, and
Pants a little tight.
because and I think had it been said from a man or said in any other kind of circumstances, it may not have been received as well, because she was right. It did, there was some truth to what she was saying, and it did change the dynamics, and people weren't asking me to go to homecoming and all kind of things that were just
God damn.
not.
You're trying to take your homecoming?
I looked
Shout out to
really young
Candace.
back then. but yeah, I think I have been in relationships where guys had, concerns about the way women dress, and it hasn't been delivered as well as that.
I feel like the way you do it, and I think this most effective way to do it is if you're proactive with it instead of reactive with it. If you don't wait till she's about to walk out of the house, go to the club, or go to someplace and be like, well, you ain't wearing that, then it comes off of controlling. If you in building in the relationship, you say, you know what, generally I like the women I date to dress a little bit more conservative. They're not showing a lot of titties and ass and stuff like that. And you give a reason why, what that means to you. Like, it's because it kind of represents me, and then I'm out in the public eye, and it's just like, it just makes it uncomfortable if everybody has viewed you and stuff like that. If you're like, then the women can say there's a reason behind it. It's just not a controlling thing. I think that makes it easier to express your boundaries if you say I'm upfront. Like I said, and that's, I think a lot of people, but that's a learned response, because people want to act like they cool with everything until shit happens. Then they ain't cool with it. It's like, you need to establish what your boundaries are. What are things you're willing to accept? Men and women need to say what they're willing to accept, and then vocalize them early on. Because number one, there's no surprises. It doesn't come off controlling. And number two, it gives the person the respect to leave the situation if they can't rock with it.
And just
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Ladies,
Stan,
I'm
shut
gonna
up. You're
say
talking
this
too
the
much.
nicest way, right? I won't call cap, because whenever there's a concert, even in a relationship, I'm sure you have that, freaking dress on and some hot pants, and you're not going to stand out with some long Jeep, jupon skirt while your girls is looking good going out to concerts. I think that, like, the realization is, like, you want to be sexy. You don't want to be told that, hey, change. It happens a lot in relationships, and it does bother you when that happens, no matter how it come across, right? So it's okay to say it. Like, I don't like it, no matter what they say, and you want to wear and you want to be sexy and you want some attention, and there's nothing wrong with that, I think. And that's
Stan, you trying to say
not being a simp, not being a simp.
Hey, wear what you want, girl. Do you,
No,
girl?
It's not about attention.
Because it's gonna be an argument later. I already know it's gonna be. Cause I experienced this. It's gonna be an argument and all this other stuff. And sometimes women wear stuff because there's other women. A lot of times, I don't think women wear stuff for us per se, but it's
We
like
don't.
other. See.
Exactly. We do it for us. We do it because we want to exist in the most feminine and goddess way that we want to. And that's just us existing.
But-
and you guys
but-
seem to have a problem with that. But I
That's
just
like-
exist. I have boobs. Like, what am I supposed to do? I like a certain outfit on me. I have a style. And I go because I want to look how I want to look.
Hey, Camila, I'm with you too because I be wearing tank tops. It bothers my ex-girlfriends. I'm like, I got shoulders. And I got big chest, and I'm not going
to say you got titties. You don't want other dudes looking at your titties.
But I'm just saying, right? I wear 4XL or 5XL shirts. It's hard for me to find clothes. And when I'm off work, I'm wearing tank top, shorts, and flip flops. I'm from the islands. I like to be barefoot sometimes, and it bothers them. But I'm like, yo, my body, my choice. You can't control this. So. But like that's the whole freedom.
Stan, you sound like the type of guy that's gonna take a chick to the Chris Brown concert and get her a photo.
Yeah,
that money. I'm sorry, no. That's
a guy.
111. No.
A guy will the reason is it could come off two ways. Like you said, the guy that you were before came off as massively insecure. There's a difference between my wife has had 3 kids, but she works out crazy and she has a nice figure. If she goes out, I know I'm here to keep her secure and protected in every aspect of her existence on this planet now. So if I'm thinking, if you're going out and you're wearing things that give the attention that may be negative, I may not be there to fight. Because like I said, when we go, my wife can almost wear anything when we go out together. When we out together, my wife is wearing some sexy ass shit, but it's just one of those things but when she goes out, I feel like I'm not here to protect you. I'm not here to establish a boundary between me and other guys.
But Damon, the reality, right, for us men, right, also ladies can understand. Ladies, if you are none, I'm still looking. Does she have back? What's that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what.
But there's hold on, Stag. You being disingenuous.
No matter how women cover it up, we still have this imagination. What does she look underneath it? Because the more you cover it up, the more it look like Christmas for me. Because now my mind is going off what's going on here? I grew up in the South, right? So I seen a lot of Amish and Quakers, right? And when you see them dress up, and you might or Mennonites, right? And they're wearing something to color, and it's like, ooh, okay, I never seen them boots before. I mean,
hold on a second.
I'm just saying, men with testosterone.
Hold on.
The difference is
there's difference between unintentional and intentional. Like for a second, both Jerk and I were in the military. There'd be girls in their BDUs who I knew had smoking bodies. I'm like, God, I can't wait to see her in civvies, because I know the body was probably banging. But there's a difference between unintentional, just because you just built a certain way and you are trying to get you're trying to elevate yourself to get a certain level of attention, whether it be from women. If you say we dress because we want to express ourselves in our femininity, I get that and I respect that. But a byproduct is going to be unwanted attention from men, and but that's not your fault, but it's your responsibility when you're not with me. So that's the thing. It's just so if you go out and you're wearing something low cut, or you're wearing something they got that new one bodysuit that's sheer all over the place in the side and stuff. You go out wearing it's basically like underwear, and you can't wear underwear underneath it. It's just you are asking for a certain level of attention.
But men have to take responsibilities too. Because
why is it our responsibility what you think?
Exactly. I wear a cute outfit,
it's really
but you
not
are the one doing the catcalling. You are the one that's harassing. So why should I be held accountable?
So you take responsibility.
Absolutely. I think men should respect. I think women should be able to wear whatever they want, but I'm just saying that's just not real life.
You're making it not real life by agreeing with that.
I don't agree with it. I agree it happens. I don't agree it should happen.
I want to say this, right? A muumuu is nothing but a big girl sundress. So
I'm just what you talking about.
Just men have testosterone.
Okay, Stan.
So no matter what you're wearing, ladies, it's not your fault. We're always going to look. If it's a side glance, a long glance, men are always going to look.
But there's a difference between men thinking you want me to look and I'm looking just because I just happen to see you want you're wanting me to witness you and you want to be to get that male energy or that male acknowledgement. There's a difference between, and even if it's not true, that's not what you want. That's how our mind works. It feels like you're peacocking to find the best mate possible. It's like when men wear fancy watches or jewelry or drive a nice car. I may not want a bunch of women to come over to the car and start talking to me, but I know that's what they're attracted to. So if it happens, it's my responsibility, and I am aware that I may have facilitated that happening.
This is gonna be the last question before we conclude. But Camilla brought up. So I want to ask the ladies, Anna, Amber, and Candace, and Camilla, because we do live in social media. There are women out there on, they post very revealing and provocative pictures of themselves. Even though there's a lot of men out there, we do have boundaries because we want to protect the relationship. We don't want unwanted attention that's going to be brought to our women, especially if that's going to be the woman that we're going to commit to, and we're going to have make a wife and have children with. But Camilla did bring up a point that I've heard a lot of women say. I'm interested here, the ladies. Women would say that, well, the reason why I post revealing and provocative pictures of my body because it's not because of the attention from men. I do it for myself and I do it for women. A lot of men would say they disagree, and I know Jerk said he called cap. But what do you guys think? Do you think women who are posting revealing and provocative pictures of themselves, are they really doing it for themselves? Are they really doing it for other women, or they need the validation of the attention of men? I want to ask the ladies, what do you guys think?
I think, because I kind of got confused. I thought we said women wearing what they want, is for ourselves, but posting these things, that's a little different. I mean, when we post online, we're going to a target audience, right? So what you post, I guess, depends on who your target audience is. Me personally, I mean, I wouldn't post more than like a beach photo, and that's just for my followers or whatever, right? But if I'm going to post something more revealing, and I'm not putting any other women down, your body, your choice, whatever, right? But me personally, if I'm going to post those kinds of photos, I have a specific target audience. Personally, I don't like a lot of attention like that. So I wouldn't post those things. But if I did, I think we're posting for other people. But in person, in real life, I think the choice of what we wear is for ourselves. The way I dress is for me. I'm not trying to do it to attract anyone. I'm doing it for myself because I have confidence in myself, whether it's modest or whatever, that I'm doing it for myself. And this is the way I want to present myself to other people.
Okay. What about you, Candace? Do you think that it's for yourself, or do you think they do it for men?
I can't speak for everybody else. I can just tell you what I do. I don't post pictures like that. Same like Amber, unless I'm at the beach. I do play beach volleyball. I do, I don't know, I go to yoga class. So it's usually, if it's something sexy, is because I'm not trying to be sexy. It's just this place that I'm at. But I will say that I saw this meme one time that said, if men didn't exist, what would we be wearing, ladies? And the ladies were all commenting, and women were just like, oh, I would just walk outside naked, or I would just wear booty shorts every day. And I agree with that sentiment. Like, I cover up because of men. I cover up because of the unwanted attention. When I'm at school in the inner city in Chicago, and the young male students, they will make vulgar comments. Oh, look at Miss So-and-so's booty. She know what she doing, and out loud. Like, I don't want comments like that made about me in my workplace. So I have to dress a particular way, unfortunately, for men. Like, it's not because I want to, because if men didn't exist, I'd wear all my body out. I work out and I think I look great in a lot of things, but it comes with some negative attention that I'm not always comfortable with.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Candace. What about you, Anna?
I feel like it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be like personally, sometimes I like my outfit. I know it looks good. It looks sexy. I post a picture. Like I think it was Damien say, my product to that post is getting the attention. I get to assess who likes me, but at the end of the day, I also have the power to decide who from the ton, I don't want to say ton, but who do I pick from that attention that I got? I still have the choice to decide what do I want to do with that attention.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. And then Camilla, what do you think? I know you want to expand on what you said, because I know you're the one who brought it up. Do you think it's because you said it's more for yourself, right?
Yeah, it's definitely for myself. At the end of the day, I think men need to take accountability for objectifying women, because we are more than just objects. When I go out there and a guy's like, hey, I don't like what you're wearing, I'm like, I'm just existing. This is my body with clothes on it. The fact that you don't like it, that's your problem. And so that's a deep internal issue that they're just projecting onto me that they have yet to deal with. And now it's suddenly a woman's problem. Now suddenly a woman deserves this and that, because like Damien said, there's a negative aspect, but it's not negative. That's his stigma in his head that it's negative. To us, it's positive. And so again, life is all perspective. But at the end of the day, as a woman, I can speak for myself and a lot of women when I go out there and I dress sexy, it's because I want to exist as a sexy woman. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for attention. I'm simply existing in the form that I wish to exist.
Okay. And then fellas, Damien, Jerk, and Nassan, what's your response to that?
It's all cap. We all do it for a little bit of attention. I mean, even guys, man, I dress fly, man. I go out there, man. I want to look good. I want some of the little acknowledgement. Somebody give you the head nod or something. So I don't even think it's bad. But yeah, for the most part, like, man, I didn't do it for a little bit of attention, I'll come out in some jogging pants and a t-shirt and be unseen, you know.
You're not a woman though, so how are you gonna speak for a woman on our behalf? You know what I mean? You've never really experienced
because we're human, and I think a lot of times we think we're way more complex than what we really are. So it's just like a lot of times if you see people wearing some things that might be over the top, you know, we want a little bit of attention.
Jerk is like, because I've always been sexy.
You're speaking on yourself. I've always been projecting sexy. You want attention, but we don't. Yeah. Exactly. So not everyone thinks like you. Remember that. Not everyone thinks like you.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you the real dope. You said something about men not sexualizing women's body. Men have always sexualized the body, and the reason why it's going to continue is because your sisters want men to sexualize their bodies, because it's a good way to keep to change the power dynamic in the male woman thing. That's why there's strip clubs. That's why there's OnlyFans. That's why these other things. Women value men sexualizing your bodies because it's a way they can make money off of it. They can get husbands off of it. They can get resources off of it. So this thing about men shouldn't sex about body, you need to go to your sisters first to tell them to put some clothes on. Don't go to men and say, well, all right. Yes, I can. I can. I absolutely can generalize the women who make a living off of doing something sexy for the gratification of men and monetize it off it. I can generalize all those women because they're all doing the same for the same reason. And what happens is then men say there are women out there who do want to be objectified. And if you standing next to them and you don't, how do I know you don't want to be objectified if you standing next to the woman who does want to be objectified? How do I tell? Like my man said a while ago, if there's 10 lions walking down the street, how do I know which one's going to bite me and which ones ain't? All I know is that you're standing too close. If you're standing close to the women who are good with being objectified, who are monetizing being objectified, then you might catch some blowback. You might catch a stray. And that's the way it is. If women said no more corn, no more OnlyFans, no more posting provocative pictures on social media, men would stop objectifying women in that way. They would still look at them. Yeah, they still, because we're a sexual being and we're biologically designed to be attracted to wider hips and bigger breasts and stuff like that. Yeah, there'll always be that, but it won't be such a highly charged and high level to where women feel like they're always in danger.
But just even people wearing like name brand stuff. Like I was just reading this one article, and they had this pop-up shop with like fake luxury items, and they sold out of everything. And a lot of times people buy this stuff, you know, just because they want to be seen rocking a label. So we I think subconsciously we do a lot of stuff for attention because we're just human. So I mean,
yeah, we're social creatures.
Can you guys hear me? I think I froze. My screen froze.
We can still hear you, Anna.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Back to what Damien said and the analogy with the lion. Lions don't speak and they don't have a mind. Women do speak and have a mind. You can always go to women and be like, what was your intention when you did this thing? And I feel like that will give you a lot of understanding of where we come from.
What was your intention when you made an OnlyFans? To make money off of men who are horny men? That's your intention.
We're not even talking OnlyFans. We're talking going out wearing what we want. Dressing. I don't know how this escalated.
Well, because you said men should not objectify women. I said there's too many of your sisters out there who want men to objectify them because it's there's a financial gain attached to it.
You're pulling us all together.
It's harder with the dressing sexy and posting.
Like I said,
real quick.
And we're not objects at the end of the day, even if we post. We're still human beings.
I'm gonna say this, Camila and Anna, Amber and Candace, listen up. I'm 6'1". Today I went outside with my shorts on, a tank top, and I got locks. You think I'm not using this to get some benefits?
Oh my God.
I'm getting free food. People are like, oh my God, you're a football player.
Look.
I'm like, okay, fine. I'm getting free food. I'm getting free drinks. And this is going to the store. Right? Because I know when I go outside, I'm going to get some look and some attention. I'm going to admit it. I'm going to use it to my benefits. Shout out to Miami, Florida, Open Locker for showing me this life skill. And I'm going to.
All right. Let me finish this.
Well, God bless me with.
Let me end cap it.
I'm mad and upset. I'm like, I don't care. The ladies like my thighs. They like my calves.
All right, I stand.
You know what I'm saying? They just like it.
Mute them up, Will.
Stand the man. All right, all I'm saying is this: it's like there's a true and real fact that has been going on since the dawn of time in this man-woman thing. Men have viewed women as sex objects, and women have viewed men as success objects. That has been the dynamic that's going on. That's the one that's been a million years ago. A million years from now, it's going to be the same way. That's that man-woman thing. That's the hypergamy thing. Is that men view women as a way to initially. I don't mean like, of course, there's women are. If you're going to say women are more than that, they develop that, of course. But I'm saying initially, when I first saw my wife of 17 years, who I love and I think is the best woman I ever crossed in my life, I said, damn, look at her ass. I didn't say, I bet she's hella smart. I bet she has some really great insight. I bet the way she wants to raise kids is the way I want to raise my children. I didn't say nothing. I said, God damn, look at that ass. Because I'm biologically and she was wearing something that showed her ass. She was biologically tuned in to be attracted to that.
So are you saying that we need to accept biology more? Because I think the conversation is going like people not accepting the facts of biology, how chemistry and biology plays into.
Well, I don't know about chemistry, but definitely biology. Biologically, men are attracted to women who have the best physique, and biologically, women who can provide men who provide the most security, whatever that security means to you, whether it be money, whether it means they're physically bigger and they can physically protect you. That's just the way we're hardwired. And men don't ever complain, be like, God damn it. Well, they do. I guess now they complain like, God damn it, women want all this money from me. Women should not look at me as my wallet.
No, I agree with you, Damien. I think there's a biological aspect of it that we don't address. Like Damien said, it's the male nature to find a woman's body attractive. That's why one of the things that makes us attracted to you as women. And then the thing for women, it's a man's ability to provide and give you stability financially. That's something that's very attractive to you. So I think it just comes down to your choices and what you attract. And I think I do agree there are a lot of men out there who have no self-control, and then they're going to be weirdos and creeps. But that's going to be one of the consequences of being, the more you reveal yourself, the more you're more provocative to show your body parts, then you're going to come across a lot of those guys are going to be weirdos and creeps. And then also with the guys out there who are, I think the same analogy could be used for guys who say, you know what, they post they flash their money, they flash their cars, they flash their success, but they complain about attracting gold diggers. You know, women just want to use them for their resources and money. So the thing is, you know, well, if you lead with that, then you're going to attract a lot of women out there just want to use you for your resources and not want anything deeper. So I think that it goes both ways, but I think it's just human nature for women to look at men as success objects, like Damon said, and men to look at women as sex objects. But I think if you're leading with that and you're using that as a way to attract a good man or a good woman, I think that's where you're going to fail. So because people who want more, people who want relationships, who want something long term, they want more than just the physical or just the material part of the success. But if you lead with that as a woman, and that's what most people see as their perception of you, then you're going to attract a lot of people, because what you put out there is what you're going to get back. But I do want to read one more super chat, and we're going to close. Lovely, I saw you in the back, but we're going to go ahead and conclude the podcast for tonight. Phil Jr. said, "Dress in uniform and streetwalkers in a uniform." And one example of women objectifying themselves. Do you guys know who Mia Khalifa is?
Yeah.
Who all going to, yeah, all the men go like, yeah, I know who that is.
Ladies, do you guys know who Mia Khalifa is?
Yeah.
It's okay if you do know her, you know.
No.
She's
Yes.
Who said yes? Amber?
Yep.
Anna don't want to say yeah, but she know.
Anna, you know,
Say
Anna,
it.
you know who Mia Khalifa is,
I
Anna?
think I am. I think my camera is frozen a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
You're good
And then
now.
Candace said no. Camilla, do you know who Mia Khalifa is?
No.
Okay. She's a well-known porn star. All right. So
Okay.
she's been in the porn industry for a long time. She has a lot of videos, but she came out and she complained about why a lot of guys still view her as a porn star, even though she's retired and she hasn't done porn because she wants to get married. She wants to have a husband now, but she complains how she goes up in public and men still view her as a porn star. But I think that goes to the point, like, you know, if you put yourself out there, then you objectify yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, the consequences is people are going to view you that way. So that's her. She was kind of blaming the men. Why do men don't want to change their view? Always view me as a sex object. Well, you did porn for 20 years, and
Oops. What's wrong
So-
with sexual pleasure? And what about the male porn stars? Why is it okay for them?
no, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying is, she participated in being a porn star, but she's
And
complaining
people
about
are
the.
okay to go a different direction. If that's something that she doesn't want anymore, then I don't understand how it would still be tied to her character when she's a new person.
Because that's because
She's
she
still
was-
monetizing off of it. She's still using name Mia Khalifa. That ain't even her real name. She got what's called, it's like, because this, don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna agree with you, and I don't want to co-op the in it. I know we're in it, but this is I think it's a good point. Yes, you can absolutely change. And I've made this statement before. I used to hang with a lot of unscrupulous people. Like, one of the things that we had a lot about, we had strippers and prostitutes around us all the time. And there was some cool people where it was just like, I know one girl who was deep in that shit, and you right now today, you wouldn't recognize her. And I'm this is not her real name, and this is not where she really lives. She's like an IT specialist in Seattle. And you would not know anything about it, but you have to do the work to change. And one thing she did was there was no social media with that, but she's never portrayed herself as any other way than a soccer mom living in Seattle. And that's the thing. If you want to do that, you have to you can't be convinced. You have to commit to the things that it's going to take to totally change your image. You have to disappear. There's this movie called A History of Violence, where you have to go off into the woods and kill the old person who you were so the new person can live. And you need to, people aren't willing to do the work. And I think what Will was saying with Mia Khalifa is that she complains, but she kept the same name and she's still trying to monetize it off going on appearances. I'm going to talk as Mia Khalifa to talk about the horrible thing of the porn industry, but you're still going in as Mia Khalifa.
And don't
I mean,
forget
that's it.
ESPN as Mia Khalifa. she was on ESPN, like we're not gonna recognize her.
Can I jump in real quick? And
go ahead.
People could change, and that's got to be your walk with God and stuff. But everybody else don't have to accept you. So, for example, if I did something that was egregious to society, can I change? Yeah, but that don't mean all y'all have to accept that. And that's where people got to be careful when you cross over certain boundaries that society deems as like messed up. You know, you can't control what everybody, how they should feel and stuff. And I think that's where like a lot of people are kind of self-entitled, like Mia Khalifa, for example, is just like, well, let me do what I want to for all these years. And then, hey, you know what? Y'all need to accept me for what I did. Hell nah. People got the right to, you know, react however they want to. And like I said, you step over certain boundaries in life, like it's hard to come back from. So that's why people pretty much tell you not to do it in the first place.
Yeah. But for her, she's gonna do great because one, she's already celebrity, TMZ. She's gonna be on reality.
Nah, she already been divorced. You know,
she got married. Huh? She got married 3 times. So I'm like,
yeah, but that's a failure.
Another example would be the Chris Brown, right? Remember when he had that physical assault with Rihanna?
Yeah.
Even though I think he's done the work to change, but people still see him as a woman.
He'll never be what he could have been. He could have been the next Michael Jackson. He'll never go as far as he could have been.
There's still a lot of people out there that still see him as a woman beater because he beat up Rihanna, even though he's not doing that anymore. He said that he's changed, but that's just a consequence when you make certain decisions. What I'm saying is, if you decide to sexualize yourself as a woman for the whole world to see, especially if you're doing porn like Mia Khalifa, the consequence is people are always going to view you that way. But that's something that's a decision you have to consider that before you make the decision going into it, because once you make that decision, there's no turning back, and that's the issue with now you're complaining about something that you got yourself involved to. There's no turning back the clock now. You went into porn industry, your video is going to be there forever. So, but that's just the consequence of deciding to put yourself out there. You know, so
we know that's the extreme. We know the good and porn. 99% of women ain't doing it. 99% women are doing what every woman is doing. They are dressing a little bit sexy, posting the here and there and stuff like that. And like I said, it makes them feel good to feel sexy, and it's empowering. I'm not obtuse to know that it's not empowering to have people appreciate the work you've done and how great you look, and like, hey, I did my makeup. Yes, I understand it's empowering. But the thing is, if that's all you're putting out there, if it's not a balance, it's every picture of you is you in something scantily clad or something like that, then you've set a narrative on who you are, and I'm judging you based on a narrative. If you're saying, okay, here's a picture of me at the beach and I'm in a bikini, and that's in context of what you wear bikinis to the beach, I get it. Or here me going to the club and I'm dressed nice and dressing sexy, but if you're not saying, hey, here's me like walking my dog, or here's me not like reading a book, or here's me not doing anything that's not related to sex, to being sexy, then you can't complain when people just look at you as a sex object. That's because I think it's just disingenuous to try to complain that there's no reason that you should be fighting against that.
But I feel like we also forget that social media is not real life. So I could be reading a book.
Yes, it is.
Not necessarily. I decide what to post. I could be reading a book in a library, but I post a picture in a bikini. You're not gonna know, only if you know me personally, and that's the opinion that I care about the most, about the people that know me personally.
Yeah, but I think what's that saying? What's that old saying, Anna? I think image is
perception of reality.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, perception is reality, right? So regardless of what people, regardless of what you think of how you perceive yourself, but the way people perceive you, even though if it's a limited context of what you post on social media, that's gonna be their reality of you based on what you post.
But that reality doesn't affect me.
It affects you if they don't know you. The people who know you already. But let's say you're trying to meet somebody new. You're trying to meet a new guy that you're trying to date, and he goes on your IG and sees you popping bottles on yachts and stuff like that in thongs, and he sees you. Everything he sees you is related to some kind of like not necessarily reckless because you're young. You're not. But anything that wouldn't be where it would be that it was all focused on one type of narrative related to you, then he would be justified and be like, oh, I'm not going to take to prejudging you as what this type of person, you know.
But that's
He'd
the
be
word, prejudge. He didn't take the time to know me further, so he doesn't get to know the person that I am.
But the things you've established has been something that is going to repel him from getting to know you further. He's going to be like, you know, because if he sees you, if all what's called, it's becoming for, if a guy sees you on a boat with a bunch of rich guys and stuff like that, you think, and you may not be a gold digger, you may be wanting just a good guy, but he's going to see a boat. She's like, she's about rich guys. I'm not a rich guy. I'm just a good guy. I'm not going to try to approach her. She may be too high maintenance or too or expensive for me. You know, that's what I'm saying. You've created the narrative. His perception has become his reality of who you are.
So
right or wrong.
No, absolutely. I get your point, but it's that point. It's that step that you missed. You saw what I looked in social media, but you didn't go in and investigate further. So let's say your wife. So you're married. You said that your wife was looking hot when you met her. You said, look at that ass. If you as a male said, I don't go out with women that dress sexy when they go outside, and you didn't even take the chance to get to know your wife, you would have missed out on that beautiful marriage because you didn't take the time to get to know her personally.
Well, like I said, let me give you a little context. That my wife sat down and started talking to me, and this is because we were in a party where there was a lot of local and D-list celebrities there, and all the chicks were trying to get the third string ball players, and I think E40's Be Legit was there, and it was like a couple of like Dave Hollister was there. It was like, you know, they were trying to get all those attention, and she wasn't. And I was sitting down on the couch talking to my boy, and she sat down next to me. And the conversation happened because I saw her walking around, and she sat down next to me, and I said, well, let me holler at her. And then we start talking, you know, but I don't think I would have inherently been like, if she was out there and like in the mix and just like all about that whole environment, I wouldn't have never wanted to talk to her because I would have prejudged her as the kind of person who's about hooking up with celebrities.
But she still would have all of the qualities, the amazing qualities that she has.
I would have never let her got that close. I would have never let her got that close. If she would have been,
you would have missed out still because you judged her too early.
And I agree. So if a woman who's posting all provocative pictures may have the best heart, maybe could be the best wife and mother, man, but he may miss out because she doesn't meet his first boundary, which is a conservative social media presence.
Hey, can I jump in real quick? Oh, go ahead, Will.
No, I just wanted to say, I know you said miss out. I want to be honest. Dame, he wouldn't miss out. He'll be fine if he didn't meet her. Like, God bless.
There'll be another Miss Perryman somewhere.
Yeah. God bless. He found his wife, but I promise you, Dame would be okay. Like, he didn't miss out. And the thing I would add on to Anna is the thing is like the thing about social media is this competition. So the thing is, what are you doing to separate? Because the men that you want, all them type of men that you guys all want, that's a rare type of. It's not the average guy. There's a man that knows how to lead, that has his life together, that's working towards his purpose and goals and dreams, strong morals and values. You know, that's the type of man that most women would want. So the thing is, if you're doing the same thing that every other woman is doing, there's a lot of women out there. The dirty things that he's looking for, and if you're not willing to do or make sure you perceive yourself that way, there's other women out there doing something different. So the thing is, like, I know a lot of women would say, oh, you don't really know me until you get to know me. But how can we really approach you if you're not presenting yourself to be the type of women that these types of men are looking for?
I feel like you're giving social media a lot of power. If you said such competition, there's people that just post and they live their lives freely, and they don't really social media is not the center of their lives. It doesn't define really. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. It's just something they do. It's just not who they are.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about that.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question of the ladies, and you know, and I know I've been saying a lot, but I think this is an important point. Is how do you provide status for your men over other men outside of sex? I mean, yes, he has access to sex with you and stuff like that. How do you, in the public eye, provide status to your man? How do people know that this man is better than any other man on this fucking earth? And he's the man. How do you know that? How do you provide that for him? How would you do that, Anna? If you were a guy, how does the world know he's the man?
Outside of sex.
Are you you saying only from what people see, like only from the outside perspective, not without getting to know him?
No, what I'm saying, any way you want to do it, any way you feel like, here's how the world knows, and I can tell you how my wife lets me let the world know I'm the man. Here's once you give your answer. How would you make your man feel like he is the man? He has status over every other man on this planet. Anybody can answer that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say maybe how I conduct myself when I interact with other males. How I show that this is the man that I'm with. Do not disrespect me. Do not disrespect him. I'm with him by giving him that special treatment and hey, babe, like holding his hand and ignoring any man that's looking at me in a certain way. I think that's how I would do it.
Okay. Do you other women agree with that? That seems like that's reasonable. Like you just kind of ignore other men and just like what have you. Anybody else add anything of how you would make your man feel like he has status over other men?
I would say, in addition to those things, one thing I used to do with my ex-husband, I used to run a business outside of my regular day job where I would have to take a lot of calls trying to sell products to people. And it was health and wellness fitness products. So sometimes there were male clients who were interested in protein and fitness guys and stuff. And I would always lead with stating that my husband talked to the guys. Like, I'll connect you with him. I don't know. I just set it up that way so that they always understood that any sales transactions that they wanted were going to go through him. Just so no lines got blurred with us communicating on, fitness tips or anything like that. So he would work with the men and I would work with them.
Okay. Camilla, anything you want to add on?
Sure. Again, there's layers to us. So for me, it's like when I go out with my man and his friends and his family, I'm not just a beautiful woman because I take care of myself physically, spiritually, mentally, in every way, shape, and form. I'm also intelligent. I'm a scientist. I love philosophy. I love poetry. I know how to have proper communication. So when I go out, it's that he sees me, that I can hold my own and that I can talk to his family and friends. And at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, wow, this woman really is good for you because I have good intentions. I'm really smart. I can read the room. And I add to my high quality character. They see that in me as a reflection of someone who is with him. And so they're going to see that when they see me, they're going to see a good woman who he is worth being with, right? It's like I'm also adding value to the relationship by showing that I have all these high quality characteristics on every single level. And I'm also very respectful.
Okay. And I said that I would tell you exactly how, and this is like, I think a lot of guys feel the same way as how I know that how my wife shows status with me is because she limits other men access to her in every aspect of an engagement. She does not post pictures of her provocatively, so other men don't have access to view her body the way it is. If we're in a public setting, she does all those things that you say, and like she limits the amount of time she will talk to another male, and she will always make sure that every man in the room knows that's that man, that motherfucker right there. That's the man. That's my man. She always takes pains to make sure I'm mentioned in majority of conversations. And the thing is, you want to hear something else funny? I do the same thing for her. I don't go and I don't post anything because it's not the same, but I will never. We've had a lot of women. I think I follow you, Anna. I think we follow each other on social media. I've seen your bunch. I will never like a picture of any woman on what's called. No single woman has ever gotten a heart like from me. That's the respect I give her. Or if a woman are engaging with me or what have you, I make sure that they know. Oh, let me get my wife. Let me. My wife might want to hear this or whatever or what have you. They know what have you. I limit access to me to other women on every aspect of human engagement. That's what I do, and that's what my wife does to show that I have status over everyone else.
And also, I just want to add one thing to your list, Damien. This is for you, ladies. This is a tip for you, for your men out there. Before we conclude, but if you want to make sure you put your men to show that you have status over other men, if you guys are in a social gathering, family function, make him a plate and bring it to him. I promise you.
One thing.
I promise you that'll make a big difference. Go to a family event, there's a wedding, whatever it is, especially in front of his family. If you make him this plate to give it to him, I promise you that he'll make him feel like a king, make it different.
Let's make his plate before you make anybody else's plate in front of the
Yeah. When I see a woman that doesn't want to make her man a plate and she kind of pushes back against him publicly, especially in the family setting, I know for a fact that she doesn't respect him. I know for a fact. All right. But yeah, we've come to the end. Thank you so much. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the ladies. We're in the beginning of the pod. Fellas, thank you so much for making the time. Stanley, thank you for jumping on as guests. Thank you for the open conversation discussion. Are men still willing to build with the man? Shout out to everybody on the live chat. Thank you so much for the super chats. Phil, Damian, Owens, Congo English, Stan, Lanisha Owens. Thank you so much. I always appreciate you guys for always being part of the conversation. But to pass it back to you guys, what's your final thoughts? I know we agreed on a lot of things. I know we disagreed on a lot of things. I do give a shout out to the panel for having an open, respectful conversation, even though we may disagree. But the ultimate goal is to figure out solutions for men and women out there. That's especially the topics we discussed. I don't believe in complaining and putting all the blame on the opposite sex, which I do see online. So I always appreciate the open conversation for everybody on the panel. But I'll pass it back to you guys. What's your final thoughts from tonight's conversation, and how can they find you? I'll start with you, Camilla. First time being on the podcast. Thank you so much for making the time. Appreciate you. But final thoughts, and how can they find you, Camilla?
Hi, thank you. I am Boozy Content on TikTok. I make videos based on alcohol because I like to drink sometimes. And also, cheers. I would like to say that I respect everyone's opinion on here, even if we have a different opinion. I am always willing to actively listen to different perspectives because I know that mine is not the only one out there. And it's important to validate other people's views. So thank you for everyone who came on here. I would end with, if you're going to go into dating, maybe just find somebody who is compatible with you, has similar preferences. At the end of the day, you guys respect each other.
All right, shout out to you. Thank you so much, Camilla. Appreciate you for jumping on the pod. Pass it to you, Candace. Thank you for being on here for the first time. What's your final thoughts, and how can they find you, Candace?
You can find me on Instagram, Candace_K_Q, and that's KAY. So Candace_KAY_Q. Final thoughts. I just really enjoy being on the panel. Hopefully you'll have me back another time. I enjoy sharing my perspective and hearing the perspective of others. I also appreciated the male feedback as well. So I wasn't aware that the guys are going to join us. So I think that was a nice bonus to have perspectives from multiple genders.
All right. Thank you so much, Candace. I'll definitely reach out to you. Definitely would love to have you back. Speaking of coming back on the panel, Anna, thank you so much for coming back again. Always appreciate your perspective. What's your final thoughts, and how can you find you, Anna?
Yes, thank you for having me. It's always great to have, hear different opinions, different perspectives. Sometimes it can, open my eyes to things that I never thought about. And they can find me on Instagram as Gonzalez. I'm not gonna start. It's Gonzalez_Anita with a double A. Okay. That's my Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much, Anna. I'll pass it to the fellas. I'll start with you, Jerk. Jerk, always thank you for always making the time. Final thoughts, and how can they find you, Jerk?
All right, it's Sophisticated Jerk. You can find me on IG under the same name, and Managed Sophistication. Also, you could catch us over here on Thursdays where we are in the masculine mindset. We talk about different topics and stuff, and females could pull up on us. But one thing I wanted to say is for the females, y'all were definitely very intelligent and very respectful, even though we had like various differences in opinions, but y'all were very respectful and, like I said, intelligent. So shout out to y'all. Again, Dame, Stan, always a pleasure to meet up with y'all. But thanks again, Will, for like just always setting up these conversations so we could all talk to each other and, like I said, hear everything out. But one thing I'll just say is like to everybody out there, finding somebody good, I think that's hard. So it's like when you do find a good person, you do have to have that awareness, and respect should go on both sides. I like what Dame kind of closed it out. It's like, hey, I make sure I don't disrespect my wife, and it should be on the other side too, because a lot of times, you know, we do come across good people, but we might push them off with certain things we might do. And I don't think there's a ton of good people out there that you could grow with that, you know, has your best interest in mind. So I just want people to have a little bit of awareness. If you do have that good person, you know, you might want to rein some things in, and that's for men and women.
All right.
All right, Will.
That was always good. Jerk, always good to have you on the pod. And Damien, final thoughts, and how can you find you, Dame?
Yeah, it was a great show. You know, I really appreciate it. I mean, you guys, the ladies have some really great perspectives or what have you. And I respect some of the things you were saying, some of the things I vehemently disagree with, but some of the things I respect for the majority of them, because you guys really stood your ground, and I appreciate that and I respect that. Yeah, people want to get a home. Like I said, I used to have a podcast, but I've been super busy lately, so I haven't had a chance to like upload any. I know I upload any new content or what have you, but my IG, if you want to like follow me, and then when I do start getting back into it, you'll know there. My IG is Can I Get Some Podcast. So it's Can I Get Some Podcast is my IG. I'll probably go ahead and follow all of you. So because I'll be looking for panelists as well. So that's what's up.
All right. Thank you so much, Damien. Always good to have you on. And Stanley.
Didn't respect nothing Stan said
before you started. I did not agree with anything Stanley said. But appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate you jumping on.
Stan was standing strong with the sisterhood today. Out here pandering. Sorry, Will. I apologize.
I'm just keeping it real. Just so like
trying to get a date.
Men use their looks too, and their you know what they want. You can find me on IG Big Herc 510. Big Herc 510. My final thoughts are: women will build with men that they want, regardless of he got wealth or not. They're gonna build with them if they want to. And my second thought is like, yo, enjoy your freedom, because once you're in that relationship, just run and be free.
It's terrible advice.
It seems like it's so bad. You're in a relationship, man. There's a lot of
you get a different kind of freedom when you're in a relationship. I guarantee you.
I know why the cage birds sing, because they wanted to be free.
Hey, Stan gonna have y'all with cats. Y'all gonna be on Will's delusion calculator. Well, you might have to pull that up.
When you're with the right person, with a good person in Stanley, you don't even worry about the freedom. You don't even think about that. But
it's a whole different type of freedom.
That 4-hour commute, I will find freedom within that 4-hour commute before I come home. I'll find a loophole.
I still can't believe he said my body, my choice.
Damn. All right, Stanley, as always, thank you so much for always jumping on and supporting the channel. But thank you, ladies, fellas, and the ladies that have joined on in the beginning. We do this every single Wednesday, so I know a lot of you guys watch the entire stream. Lanisha, Phil, RNTY1, Lord Punisher, a lot of you guys watch the entire stream, and a lot of the supporters on IG, X, and Twitch, on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. If you've added the content, smash that like and subscribe button real quick. And don't forget, this is a virtual show, so if you do want to jump on our future panel, either reach out to me directly or just jump on when we do go live and click the link on the description below on YouTube. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great time. Great podcast. Peace, y'all. Peace.